keeps on flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victories in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line. Gasoline and fire, chasing every desire. Around the curves we go, teamwork keeps our flow. Every gear we shift feels like a gift. Speeding down the lane, victory's in our name. We win together, rain or shine. PHG forever, crossing the line.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 9 of the PHG World Series here. I am joined by my co-host this evening, Mr. C Dubs. C Dubs, how are you tonight?
All is well. Going to be exciting. This is a big night. I'm ready.
This is quite a big night. Our drivers are jockeying for their final positions to get themselves qualified to get into the finals. So there are a couple storylines that'll go along with that, but before we get into the racing information, let's just take a brief second and recognize our sponsor for this year. Lithograph Comics is not a store, but rather a comic book enthusiast bringing awareness to the hobby and the comic book collecting community. It's located on Instagram. You'll find Greg, aka Litho, sharing comic book history, stories, and personal collections spanning a 35 plus year comic book journey. That's Lithograph Comics on Instagram. Thank you so much for your support this year. A lot of the drivers will be sporting their superhero Lithograph Comics liveries. We look forward to seeing all of those. So, moving forward, C-Dubs, do you mind talking us through the round information here?
Sure. So here we go in round 9. We're at Suzuka. It's the full circuit. We've got 30 laps tonight. Our tires are at 4 times, and racing hards are required. Fuel is set at 3 times, and the cars are Group 3 cars.
Yeah, obviously, Group 3s are the manufacturers that the drivers have been in for the entirety of our season here. So these guys have become quite familiar with the cars they're in. Some like them, some don't. Some cars do better at different tracks. So we saw in qualifying there is a really tight group here. So we're going to see quite a tight group of folks in the first split. And I think we will take a look here at the first split drivers. And C-Dubs, do you mind running us through these?
Yeah, no problem at all. So crazy fast, a fast group here in the top of this top split here. So Bobagito, 215.6, JK85, 215.8, followed by Talon. These guys are all in the 15s, which just blew me away. Jorge's at a 216.0, Flux Flare 216 right behind Jorge. Then we got Wade CBR, PHG Shaggy Doo. We got K Naranjo, aka Oak. We got Slowpoke Rods. We got Moose 21, PHG Vetterdan, PHG Fast Cougar, Racer 51, Puddin Dixon, and Papa Oso for this round here.
Yeah, it's really stacked lobby here. Obviously, a lot of tight competition, and as you can see by those initial qualifying score times that those guys put up, we're going to have a pretty close grid here for this one. Everybody did qualify in rain. For those of you that didn't catch any of the qualifying, it was a deluge, and our buddy C Dubs actually put together a really good song that I think summed it all up for us. Maybe you get to hear that if you check back on that broadcast. It is worth a listen. C Dubs, that was awesome. I mean, well timed and very well written.
Thank you. Yes, I put a whole lot of effort into it. It was about 30 seconds worth of prompts into the OAI, and off we went. But no, it turned out pretty good. I thought it fit the scene for sure.
Yeah, oh, I think so. The AI seems to know Shaggy and his evil mind back there putting together the rounds and rounds of qualifying in rain, and he has put these drivers to the test throughout this season. So tonight is not going to be any different. There is certainly rain on the forecast. We're not sure when it's coming, but we know it is coming. C Dubs, did you get to run any practice laps here for this one?
I ran a few, and then of course the qualification. And I will tell you, when I thought I did a great lap, then I realized that I was close to 3 seconds off of these top guys. So, running the range is totally different. It's a different way to look at running the track, and some of these guys got it figured out. That's for sure. I know that I do not. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think to your point, it's going to be the tale of kind of, two races in one. You've got the dry portion of the race, and the wet portion is going to be potentially totally different. That's one interesting thing about having drivers qualify in the wets. You really get that. It's an interesting way that the field spreads out, and sometimes you might see somebody either up or down because they do better or worse in the rain than generally the group that they're racing against, which I always find very interesting when it comes to race day.
Yeah, and obviously those guys in the top of this split here, I mean, those guys are going to do well. It doesn't matter what you throw at them, but I do think the rain will shake up the order. I mean, I think when we get down into that third through 10th positions there, as the rain comes on, we might see some movement in those positions.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. And obviously the challenge for these drivers is going to be keeping control of the car in the wet. It's so easy to push too hard, miss your braking point by just ever so much, and next thing you know, you're running off the track. So I believe our drivers are in car and just about ready to hit the track. So we're going to be joining them here in just a moment as they get ready to run their qualifying laps. So just a quick heads up for everyone who's just joining us. The way this all works is the drivers will qualify during the week to get themselves in their respective splits. And then from there, they also run a qualifying to determine exactly which place they're starting in the grid. So they will run a quali here. I guess the question is it going to rain in qualifying for tonight's race, or will they get dry track? C-Dubs, what are your thoughts there?
I think I did hear that we're going to have rain for the qualification at the beginning of the splits, is what I understand. So I would expect monsoon to be there as soon as we pop in. And one other thing, I would also expect to see a lot of pink vehicles this evening. There was one of our members is going through a situation with a family member, and between that and Pink Mishi got the chat going in Discord, and next thing you know, we've got a lot of pink liveries. So actually, just before the stream, I was working on my livery. I'll be in split 2 tomorrow afternoon. So look forward to seeing those liveries.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. You get, a subject that's very close to my heart as well. Very difficult to deal with, and prayers to everyone out there who is fighting any type of cancer, specifically breast cancer. It's tough. So you guys keep your heads up, and help the people around you. Just remember, this is one of the best communities you could ever be a part of. So you're definitely surrounded by great people here, and everybody is rooting for you to heal up quick and get back home soon.
Okay, so Shaggy's correcting me. They're saying no rain in the qualifying. So I just not paying attention. That's my problem. So
Okay.
apparently
Okay.
no rain in the qualifying. Thank you for clearing that up, Shaggy and MF Wesley, Mr. T-Rex Arms. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. I'm sure that is quite welcome news to many of our drivers. Some people love the rain, but I am not one of those guys. I'd much rather have a dry track any day of the week. I've done my fair share of wet racing, and it is tough, man. Woo. It seems to amplify your mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the rain. I mean, I'll say it, and I'll say I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan because I'm not good at it, right? If I were good, I'd be a fan. So, looks like we're getting ready to head to qualifying here just a second. So, get ready. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong.
Yep. And as we take a look at everybody's liveries there is the one and only Shaggy Doo.
Yeah, he's got a good looking livery there, the pink and the black and the other sponsor stickers. Looks good. And Wade. What's this say? What's Wade say? Yeah, it says I can't quite see what it says. Doom Crew. Okay, Doom Crew. I like it. Looks good.
Yeah, that's very nice. Racer 51 with a monster lithograph livery there. Very nice.
Mr.
Our
Oak
other
here.
commentator.
Yeah.
Yep.
K Naranjo, just the Fanatec, the red and blue BMW colors. Got the M series colors going. Looks good.
And there is Fast Cougar in that trademark McLaren he's been rocking.
Yep, he's got his Elite PHG Elite logo there on the back.
Checking out Slowpoke.
Yeah, leave it to Slowpoke. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Little marketing for those that might need a little assistance. Okay.
Little help. Yeah. There is Jorge Sr.
Is he completely blacked out? Yeah.
He's blacked out tonight. Yeah, that's sharp.
Okay. Looks good.
Talon in the Under Armour. At GTR Under Armour. And there is the Moose MMR leader there. That's a good looking Ford.
Yeah, I might have found that same graphic that he's got just behind the door there. Might be running that on my livery as well, but that kind of falls in line there. And there's JK85, another fast driver. I think he qualified second, if I'm not mistaken, right behind Bobachito. So, oh wow, that's good.
Oh, very good. Nice job, Puddin'.
Those of you that don't know, that's also our Wicked Quick. So because CBR has another driver named Wicked, he has changed his CBR name. That's what we got going on there. But excellent livery, Flux Flare in the Porsche. I said it right this time, so keep your stones.
You get a lot of trouble on that?
Yeah, I catch some. So
Bobachito. Team CPR, yeah, they're always hungry.
He's got his Boba Gump stickers rolling. I love it.
Lots of shrimp. Mr. Vetterdan in that classic Corvette.
Say it for you, TKs. Can't find a Vetterdan.
There it is. And Papa Oso in another Martini classic Lamborghini look there. Is that a teddy bear on the hood there?
A little snuggly teddy bear there up front.
All right. Number 23, rocking Mr. Michael Jordan's number. And we've got drivers on their hot lap. So we're going to ride on board with Shaggy Doo. We were. He's reset to the pits. He didn't want that announcer's curse. He said, I'm out of here.
That's right. Yeah, I don't blame him. And I'm super curious to see strategies. I haven't had the time yet to, and I was actually looking forward to this commentary just so I can cheat and like everybody else is going to and see what these top guys are going to do for strategy. But gosh, there's a million different combos of strategies that you could use here. It'll be interesting to see what these guys do.
Yeah, I mean, what are your predictions? What do you expect our top tier drivers to run tonight?
In the dry, I would say I think Bobachito and Jorge, they're going to be around the 2 flat mark. 2 flat, 201. And then when it gets to the rain, I think what were we running in the rain the other night? I don't even remember now, but something like 215. Yeah. I'd be tough to do in race, but I would definitely expect to see some 216, 217s in race tonight.
What about the strategy? What is the starting tire that you're starting off on?
I truly don't know. I'm going to make my decision here shortly. I would say I have no clue how long. I'm not tested it. I think we said the tires were at 4 times wear. I mean, softs are going to go really fast, so I think I'd be surprised to see guys come out on softs. I'm not sure. Again, the strategy. I don't know if they're planning. I think the rain, if I'm not mistaken, comes later on in the race around 18, 19, something like that. So whatever you put on, I don't know. I guess there's a couple ways to look at it. You could either go hards and try to get your tires to last all the way out to the rain, or perhaps they're going to go mediums. I'm not sure. So it'll be interesting to see. And then I kind of think we'll see some mediums come out, and I think then we'll see the wets go on for the rain and then finish out in the hards is what I expect. But I don't know. I know a lot of these guys. I can tell you for sure I've seen Bobagito and Jorge in the practice lobbies a ton. So these guys are taking this very, very seriously, and there's a lot of pride and points here on the line that mean all the difference for the championship.
That's true. And as we've been talking, the drivers have definitely gotten some hot laps in. We've currently got Jorge Sr. sitting up atop the board with a sub 2 minutes. So he's 159. What is that? 815. A really, really nice lap to put up on the board. Followed closely behind by Naranjo or Oak, our other commentator there. Bobagito in third.
Yeah, but if we look back at seventh, I mean, there's not a second and a half between the top 7 drivers right now on the quali. So things are going to tighten up a little bit more here as we go on. We're just about halfway through.
Yeah, I agree. I think the drivers are just starting to get into their groove now. You see some of our drivers are hitting the pits for a fresh set of rubber to close out the qualifying. So we are at just at the 6.5 minute mark in the qualifying. The drivers do get 10 minutes. We're going to ride on board with Bobagito. Yeah, look at everybody in the. Is there anybody on track at this point? The strategy seems to be aligned with our top group today. And everybody is coming back out to get themselves a hot lap, and then that'll give them, what do you think? You think they get 2 more laps in, Oak? 2 more burners?
I think that, I think they'll get 2 more hot laps, is what I think. Let's see, we got, 3 minutes left of the actual session, and then the run out. I will say, though, this track is just slightly longer than the run out. So for those that go across the line right at the last second, they're not going to make it back around for that final lap.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate challenge we saw a lot of drivers experience during qualifying. They'd be coming around right through the chicane, and they would get cut off right as they were kind of staring at the finish line for their final hot lap. So really interesting timing there. It's a 2-minute runoff. I think that's how it's been throughout the whole season, so no change there.
Yeah, and I unfortunately suffered the same thing. I finally hit a lap. I felt good. That doesn't mean anything. It could have been 2 seconds slower when it was all said and done. But in my mind, I was running a good lap, and come out of that last little chicane, I was about 100 yards away from the finish line, and thought my PS5 fried. But yeah, just hit the run out. So well, that was that.
And you see, we've got our top 5 currently at Jorge, Oak, Bobagito, Flex Flare, and Fast Cougar. Shaggy is currently sitting in the 6th position with Talon in 7th. Moose is currently sitting in 8th. Let's see if we have any shakeups before the end. We have Slowpoke CBR, PHG Racer 51, Better Dan, and Wade CBR. Then JK in 13th, Pablo Chacon, Bud Puddin, excuse me, and then Papa Oso in 15th. So.
Yeah, so here's a great example of what we were talking about, dry versus rain. So JK85, actually, I would argue that he would have been the fastest driver in qualifying. He had a situation on his last lap where he was a half a second up on his actual qualifying time and had just a little bobble that took it away. So, and here he is in the dry, sitting down in 13th. So it'll be interesting to see how the line or how the field shakes up once we get some moisture going.
Well, it doesn't look like he's in 13th any longer. He has hopped up somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where he fell. Below 8, perhaps? Yeah, he's in 10th. So he did move up quite a bit there on one of his past hot laps. And we're all watching that top 3 very closely to see if anybody can best Jorge Sr.
Yeah,
riding on
Jorge's.
board with Oak. Go ahead.
No, I was just to say, Jorge's just, he's the alien. We got a lot of aliens in our group, but he's certainly been the guy on top all season. Part of me kind of wants Boba to win this just to tighten up the points, so Shaggy has to bust out the calculator. I don't know. That might be just the evil in me, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, a lot of people rooting for the CBR crew. There's certainly a huge following for their group. They are looking to make their name heard throughout the PHG World Series. They certainly showed up well for the All-Star race.
So Oak's best lap right now is a 2.694. So I think what was a Jorge was a 159.8. So Jorge's 8/10 right now ahead of second place in the dry qualifying here. So it's a pretty dominant performance with the qualifying.
It really is. And, 8/10 may not sound like a lot, but boy, when you're running laps like this, that is a lot of ground to make up.
I see Sheld's in the chat. Sheld, I loved your video. For those of you guys don't know, we haven't seen much of Sheld. He's been doing renovations, and he posted a video today. And man, he and his wife did a fabulous job renovating a house. So if you get a chance, make sure you check out that video. Give him a like. Give him some love. So awesome stuff, Sheld. Great job.
And in the meantime, Jorge went ahead and bested his time there, so he's now sitting at a 159.279. And it looks like something happened to Moose. Unfortunately, I don't think we caught the replay on that. Looks like he was braking in preparation for the chicane there, and got a little squirrely.
Well, everybody should be wrapping up here, right? Yep, they are. Everybody's catching the checkers here on this lap.
It looks like that is going to solidify our grid. Do we have anybody else coming through? These guys are flashing. So I think that's it. Okay. Looks like we have gotten our final grid set. A little bit of a shakeup there. Flux Flare ended up jumping himself up into that P2 position, pushing Oak, Obajito, and everybody else below him down. So that was a last minute jump up there from Flux Flare. Kudos to him.
Yeah, Flux kind of came out of nowhere mid-season and just started cooking. So I think I saw that he said he's loving this group. He feels like he's gotten a lot faster hanging out with the PHG crew and our racing. So glad to have him in here. He's definitely kicking butt.
That's always great to hear, and he has been doing very well. Let's run through our qualifying results here. We have PHG Jorge in a blazing fast 159.279, almost 158. Golly. Flux Flare jumping up into that P2 position with the 2 minutes .199, and our buddy Oak there with a 2.00295. Bobajito starting out in P4 in that 2 minute .330 mark, so not too far off of our first 1 and 2 drivers. Those guys I expect to see very tight throughout racing, along with Racer 51 with a 2 minute .00777. Wow, look at those top 5 are just right on top of each other. Actually 6, if you think about it, all pretty close, like you said, within a second earlier. Fast Cougar going to start in P6 with a 2 minute .780. Talon in P7 with a 2 minute .894. Wade CBR in P8 with a 2 minute .963. P9 is going to be JK85 with the 2 minute .988. My golly. Slowpoke Rods P10 201.063. PHG Shaggy Doo is starting in P11 at a 201.291. Moose in P12 with a 201.302. Puddin' Dixon with a 201.377. Then you have Better Dan with a 201.534. And Papa Oso rounding out our grid at a 201.642. So really only not even 2.5 seconds off of the lead there. So expect these guys to run close throughout this race. So, I mean, at this point, is there a different strategy, C-Dubs, if you're starting at the front compared to starting at the back, or do you think it's just mediums are hard, kind of take your chances? Are you rolling dice at this point?
Yeah, this one's a tough one for me. Again, it's 30 laps. I think it's one of the longer races, if not the longest race we've had this season. So not going to be as easy. I mean, you kind of got to, go with what your practice was and just settle in and be consistent, I think is the name of the game here. I mean, obviously that qualifying, I think, Jorge's going to start pulling on these guys pretty early. He's going to need to make a mistake to have these guys, behind him stay in the race. So if I'm Flux, I'm probably just going to go ahead and, right across the line, I'm probably going to send him into the sand in that first corner. I'm kidding. Please don't do that. But I think you almost need to do that to even it out. So anyway,
Well,
it'll be
there will be rain, right? So I mean, it can be the great equalizer. It's always possible that something could go terribly wrong there in the wet conditions, but we just haven't seen it from Jorge too much. So to your
yeah,
point, I
those
wouldn't expect it.
those guys are going to have to do everything they can just to hang on to him until that rain comes because there are a couple guys that ran the qualifier at least faster than Jorge. So, Bobagito obviously was smoking fast in the rain, and JK85 was right behind him. Talon was right there. So, if some of these guys can stay close, if they can stay within 5 or 10 seconds of him going into that, I think they got a chance.
Okay, well, it looks like the drivers are getting themselves set up and ready to roll here for our split one, round 9. Can you believe it's been 9 rounds already?
It
What an
flew by.
awesome season. Yeah, it has absolutely flown by very quickly. So, and we are going to, this is gearing up to be a really exciting finals. Okay, looks like we've got ourselves a rolling start here. So the drivers are set up. They're getting the wheels rolling here. And, the rolling start definitely gives these guys an opportunity to keep themselves spaced out a little bit better. You don't have the turn 1 chaos, although that is always fun to commentate with. So seems like everybody has tucked themselves into line currently. We're going to ride on board with Jorge Sr. looking backwards here. I don't see anything too crazy. Everybody seems to be maintaining their positions at this point.
Yeah, smart way to go. Yeah, just stay in a line, get through these first couple laps without anything crazy. Try to hang on to Jorge. That's the goal here.
That's right. As we come into the S's, and for all you kids out there trying to figure out how it's done, watch Jorge's inputs, watch his throttle on the right, watch his braking. We're zipping through the field here so you can get a good look at all that glowing pink on the track. What an awesome representation of the group here, showing their support. So you can see Jorge's already created a 1.2 second gap between him and P2. You're not even a third of the way through the track. What is he doing so different?
Yeah, he's on medium tires right now. Let's take a look at the. Okay, yeah. So looks like Flux is on hard, so that's going to be part of it. But I've jumped into several practice lobbies with Jorge and just literally spectate in the cockpit view to what you were just saying, and the dude is just crazy consistent. And I think we all know that. We could be fast from time to time, but the key to this is just being consistent. And it seems like he hits his apexes, his braking points, his throttle. I mean, it's just like robotic. So. He's obviously he puts the time in too, though. I know I always see him in the practice lobbies. So everybody else has been on hards, right? Have we seen anybody else on mediums?
Most everybody's been on medium, other than a couple drivers with Flux and JK. I was going to say, as we're kind of going through the field, yeah, there's Slowpoke's medium. Let's see what Shaggy's got. He's medium. Moose behind Shaggy on the hards. Okay, so you got 3 hard drivers so far. Puddin on the mediums. Vetter is on the hards. And Papa also running hards. Okay, a couple of guys at the back running hards.
But yeah, tire wear will be a thing to watch here, obviously, with Jorge on mediums. But then again, we've watched Jorge go into tire saving mode and run mediums and softs longer than he's supposed to. So it'll just be interesting to see how this strategy plays out.
Yeah, and these guys have done their practice laps, and they have a pretty good understanding of when they expect to see that rain, although they've got their guys in the tower on point right now, watching the radar closely to make sure and let them know anytime they see a cloud come in. So the skies look pretty good right now. I think we're going to be okay for at least another 2 or 3 laps, but it can move in quickly here.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's scheduled to move in later in the race, but Shaggy put out a quick little report there before the race, and he said, this is one of those races where it's not going to hit the same for every split. So the intensity and the timing is going to hit a little bit different for split 1 than it does split 2 and 3 and 4, and so that'll be interesting. The rest of us that are in later splits are not really. I mean, we're going to know about when, but we're certainly not going to know the exact time and intensity of the rain by watching this race.
Yeah, and Wade CBR looked like he was eyeing up a spot to get by Talon. He might be able to sneak his nose in there. Oh, I think there might have been. Oh, no, that's just the camera. I thought it was contact. He made a nice pass there to get through Talon at the end of Spoon. I wonder if we can get another peek at that. There we go. So he's got his nose there coming into the first portion of Spoon. Actually, I'm sorry, the second half. That was really nice.
Great pass,
really
yeah,
nice.
and he gave space until he cleared him, and then moved on out to the outside so he could keep his speed up. So that was a great pass. So on board with Wade here. He's in P7 at the time.
Wade is running that Ferrari, similar to Shaggy, which is a fun car to drive, no questions asked.
It sounds awesome, if nothing else. I love to run the Ferrari. In fact, this week in Race B, nothing really hangs with the Viper, but the Ferrari's fun and does well through the turns and can at least hang on. I've had several nice finishes in the Ferrari in Race B this week.
And you were just talking about maybe being in the market for a little Ferrari. That'd be exciting.
That would be awesome. It's definitely on my bucket list, and I'm going to be on the lookout here over the next few years for sure.
So we're riding on board with Bobagito, who has got his eyes on that P2. He is trying to see if Flux Flare can give him a little window of opportunity to stick his nose in and maybe get a pass done. Trying to keep himself close as they're coming up towards the hairpin. Jorge has already got a 5-second lead. It's 3 laps in. So take that for what it is. He is gone, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, the pack here is quite tight. So Flux and Bobagito, Racer 51, Oak, Fast Cougar, Wade, Talon, they're all pretty much right on top of each other. You see a little bit of the space as you get towards Talon, and then maybe a little bit of space behind him. But Jorge has taken off.
He said, "You guys have fun. I'm going to check out."
Yeah. You guys got that 2 through whatever taken care of. I'll be up here.
Yeah, you fight it out for P2. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. Let's take a look back at P3 and see how much pressure. Okay, so there it is. Bobagito gets the pass on Flux Flare. We might want to. That's queued
there goes
up.
Racer 51 up on the inside. Oh, nice move. He's going to position himself next to Bobagito, currently holding P2. I don't know how long that's going to last coming into this section. Racer's got Bobagito kind of pinned out there. Everybody else seems to be filing in the line by him. And he has got P2 secured. Now it's Flux Flare and Bobagito fighting for P2. Flux is absolutely not wanting to give up that spot. And you see those positions 3 and 4 swapping as they go around turns. Oh, Flux, I don't know what to do. He tucks finally back in behind Bobagito. What a little group of passes and racing we got to see from those guys. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of what we can expect. C-Dubs, tell us what you see here.
Yeah, so Bobagito's coming up on Flux here. He's going to go, just to the inside. He holds the line through here, but that gives Flux Flare. He gets a little outside there, gives Racer 51 an opportunity, and then Flux just falls back in behind Racer 51, and it's just chaos here for the next couple of turns.
Yeah, you get out of line, the field could drive right by you if you get stuck outside of that slipstream, and that's what almost happened there, but Bobagito was able to kind of get himself positioned and tuck back in. Running side by side with folks is not a whole lot of fun through this first couple turns, and Flux is forcing Bobagito to do it.
Yeah, that's a bad spot to go too wide, starting into the S's there, so...
Flux ended up tucking back in. I don't know if he was going for the switchback, but it didn't end up happening there on the S's. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Looks like P2 is going to be the Bobagito Racer 51 battle here for the next few minutes.
And we jump on board with Oak, who's got a really good, he runs a little bit wide, but he's got a good view of all the action going on there, trying to keep himself positioned in front of Fast Cougar. There is no rest for the weary on this track today, unless your name is Jorge, who is gone.
Yeah, so here's
Bobagito.
Yeah, that Genesis is just, he's tucked in behind Racer 51. Let's see, is he going to stay inside? Nope, he's going to relinquish that spot back to Racer 51 for now. So Genesis is great on the straights. Yeah, Bobagito's just, he's good. So I expect that he might get this pass down here in the next lap or two. Not to say Racer 51's not incredibly fast, because he is, but it seems like that Genesis might be just a little bit stronger than the Mazda here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's having a whole lot of trouble sticking to the back end right now, which obviously that could change with one little mistake. But he is right on him, just looking for an opportunity there.
So 10 seconds now, guys, from P1 to P2.
He put 2 seconds a lap up on these guys. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. UFO sighting. So we jump on board with Bobagito, watching him try to find a spot to get by Racer 51 in one of the widest Mazdas we've seen in quite some time. He is not giving him any opportunities there.
That Mazda has the alien feel. I mean, Racer 51, he's an alien, and it looks like an alien, and the livery kind of fits, so.
And ironically, he is chasing another UFO out there in Jorge.
Yeah, this would be a good spot here. If he can stay on his bumper, he'll get the pull and maybe get. He went to the outside. So Racer 51's going to hang on here.
Oh, it looks like he's considering making a move. No. Oh, a little weeble wobble. Couldn't quite get a spot. And you'll see that there is a bit of a gap that's starting to form between Bobagito and Oak, who is back behind him just about a second and a half, just under that mark.
Yep,
and
so
then Flux Flare. Yep, go ahead.
Yep. No, just to say Flux, I didn't pay attention to when Oak got Flux, but yeah, Flux dropped back another spot there.
Yep, we missed that one, unfortunately, but now Flux has Wade, who is trying to eye up that P5, take it off his hands if he can.
Yeah, so we got to keep in mind that Flux is on the hards. He's one of the few on the hards, so that's probably explains a little bit of his falling back through the field here, but still hanging on there in P5.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you kind of get a good look at the field and how they're currently spread out as we watch these guys come around the turn here.
Oh, Slowpokes with a penalty.
Little half second, that is unfortunate. He needs a little blue pill to help pick him up. He's got one, I bet.
I was going to say it probably won't be too hard for him to overcome. So,
well then, back up to the front of the pack. So Racer 51 is still keeping his position of P2 in front of Bobagito for the time being, and they come into Spoon here. Tricky approach to Spoon. Go ahead.
It really is, but their battle here is letting Oak close the gap. Seems like Oak's made up a little bit of time on these guys, so if he can keep the pressure on, he'll be right up in the mix for P2 here shortly.
Racer 51 runs wide. Bobagito took full advantage of that opportunity and has driven by. That was unfortunate, but that is how quick it can change here in the PHG World Series. As we see, we're going to get another look at it here. So here it comes coming around Spoon and gets on the gas just a little too quickly, pushes him out, and there goes Bobagito with full traction. He's no trouble getting that Genesis past and keeping his speed up down the straight.
Yeah, looks like there's already pulling a little bit of a gap there on Racer 51. So here comes Oak's going to be applying the pressure to Racer 51 here in the next lap or so.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, sometimes it doesn't always matter what tire strategy you pick. If you can keep up with the guys around you, on a worse compound, it can sometimes really put you in a good situation.
Yeah, and it's surprising as we scroll through the field, the tire wear on the hards and mediums do not have the difference that I would have expected. So, for instance, Fast Cougar, he's on the mediums and he's only used about 30% of his tires, and I felt like there was a few of the guys on Racing Hards that were in similar shape. So that's a little bit surprising.
Yeah, it is. That tire degradation is always interesting to see how that PD has it broke down between hards and softs and mediums. And today, at least, you can see that there is a difference between mediums and hards, but it's not, normally the hards are so much slower to degrade where it doesn't look like you're quite seeing that today.
Yeah, 7 laps in, generally speaking, at 4 times wear, you wouldn't expect to see that much wear.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
as we watch the field come through Spoon onto the back straight there, Oak really is pretty beating his tires up a little bit. Maybe being in the dirty air there behind 51 and or Bobagito for a little bit.
Yeah, and he's probably pushing a little extra hard to catch up to Racer 51 there too. He's wanting P3. You can see it.
Yep, and you cannot blame him. I certainly would want to get all my passing done before that rain. So we are just closing out the 7th lap. These guys are starting lap 8 out of 30. Skies still look pretty clear as far as I can tell. We do not get to see the driver's radar, which is unfortunate because I'd be watching it as closely as we were watching this battle here between 2 and 3, with Oak trying to close that gap and find an opening there. As we know, that Mazda is wide. Racer 51 has done a great job. He held off Bobagito for quite some time, and he finally made one little flaw and gave Bobagito a wide open door for him to run through, and he took full opportunity of that. Bobagito has gotten a little bit ahead of him. One thing to notice here, as you look in the upper right-hand corner of the track, you'll see the red car is the one that we're watching. And if you look way up ahead of that, you'll see our leader, who is 15 seconds ahead of P4 at this point. It may be one of the most dominant starting sections of a race I've ever seen. C-Dubs, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Jorge took it personal having somebody so close to him in the points, and he has definitely put the extra time in the practice lobbies. And something else to point out, we were just on board with Oak, and I noticed that he's already burnt half of his fuel. Looks like Jorge's burnt just over half of his fuel. We're just on lap 8. Again, just based on practice, I would expect the rain to come probably 18, 19, somewhere in there. And based on that, everybody's going to end up having to pit before the rain comes if that's the case. So.
Okay, very interesting. Back to P2, 3, and 4 here. You see Bobagito, and you can see Racer 51 back behind him with Oak closely in tow as well.
So yeah, if some way Racer 51 and Oak could work together here, they're not that far off of Bobagito. They could push back up on him here pretty quick if they work together to do it.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting strategy. A lot of times you can be teammates until you get to the last couple laps, right? For me, it doesn't matter what's going on. If I'm not in the lead, I want to be. So I'll work with people. Unlike certain drivers in the dailies, I'm not mentioning any names. It's just general. But you can work with people at the back of the pack to catch back up. You don't always have to blast people around.
Yeah, there's unfortunately not a ton of opportunity here to do slipstream and drafting, but there's certainly that long straight on the back there that could get a little bump draft. And, so for instance, Oak could give Racer 51 a little nudge there on that back. And, coming up to it here, about 2 more turns, and they're a little further away than that. But, yeah, they get on that back straight and they stay this close, then Oak could certainly give Racer 51 a little nudge and get them a little closer to Bobagito.
And it looked like Oak had a little bit of a wobble there as he's setting up still in great position behind Racer 51. Coming out of the hairpin there, and they will prepare themselves for the oh-so pain in the butt Spoon. I know TK. Go ahead.
No, just to say, it looks like the guys on mediums are going to be dealing with tires before fuel, and maybe the guys on hards are going to be dealing with fuel before tires. So I think it's we're going to be looking at pits here in the next probably 3 to 4 laps, I would guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we've only seen a few little shimmies, a few little passes. Knock on wood, we have not seen anything too terrible. Nobody's really gone into the wall too badly or any bad spins. So hopefully that is not an announcer's curse as we see our leader coming into the pits. He's got 37% fuel, and he is going to likely, I would imagine, be shifting off the mediums. Maybe he takes another set. I guess we'll have to wait and see what his strategy is going to be for him
Yeah,
to remain his dominance.
I would guess he's going back on the mediums, may take a splash of fuel. Jorge's done this enough times. He knows about when the rain's going to come. So I would guess he's going to go mediums and enough fuel to get to the rains, and then obviously go to the wets. So Bobagito's going to get some points here for laps led.
That's right.
That's going to help.
Besides, you see a small group of these folks that have decided to stay out, and you see a couple of medium tires in that group that don't look too bad. Some of them look worse for wear. Bobagito's are pretty rough, but as you look at Shaggy, his don't look as bad as some of the other ones. Jorge comes out on a fresh set of mediums there in P5.
So can we go back to Jorge? Did he take on fuel? Yeah, he did. He took a splash. He took on
about a quarter
fuel.
of a tank. Yeah, maybe a little more. Made sure to keep his pit stop as short as possible, and he's currently hunting down Fast Cougar. As we've seen from the beginning, he certainly has the pace. Perhaps he decided to keep it interesting, get himself a fresh set of rubber.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be Fast Cougar of these guys and look in your rearview mirror and see that solid black BMW just closing down on you. So
no, it's like the men in black are coming for you,
Yeah, yeah. And they know his pace. They're seeing the data. I mean, it'd almost be better just to get out of the way or give him a hard way to go. I guess if you're CBR, maybe you throw a little block in there from time to time. I'm not sure. So Racer came in for tires, but did not get fuel. So he's expecting that Mazda to hang on till the rain comes.
Maybe a little bit of fuel saving, perhaps. Unfortunately, Oak ended up with a half second. He took on a set of mediums there. And checking out Talon there in P11. He's got a pretty decent gap between him, P10, and Oak, but he has JK pretty much hot on his tail. Not necessarily right behind him, but he's not far back. And there you have Puddin and Papa Oso. Okay, and we're looking at the back of the field here, and moving back up to our leader, there is Bobagito, who is going to likely have to come into the pits, if not this lap, perhaps the next. I don't know, C-Dubs, how far do you like to run your tires down?
Those mediums are done. I gotta believe he's going to duck in here because he tries another lap. He's going to have nothing left on that front right. So I've got to believe he's going to pop in here, probably grab another set of mediums and a splash of fuel, just enough to hold him out till the rain comes, I believe.
He's doing a really good job holding off Wade, Flux Flare. We can see that Jorge has moved himself up into P5, 4, excuse me, was P5. So he got past Fast Cougar. That was a mouthful for some reason. And he is got his eyes on the prize there, so.
See, if I was Bobagito, I would have been working deals before the race, because Jorge pits before everybody. He ends up back in the pack. Anybody that gives him a bump, that's a Subway gift card or something. I mean, could have worked something out.
Well, yeah. Make those deals. And, as we looked at his tires earlier in the lap, they didn't look great. Now they look really bad. That front right is just showing a little sliver of life left on it, but that's not great when you're going around a track that is technical and it requires a little bit of grip. So we expect him to come in.
Absolutely. Has Wade pitted yet? I guess he has not, I would assume. Okay, so I expect
don't think
Wade.
He has.
Yeah, I would expect Wade. Oh, Wade stayed out.
But his mediums don't look bad. He's got another lap on those. I don't blame him for staying out. So Wade is going to try and see if he can maintain that lead in front of Jorge and get a lap led. He is a second and a half ahead. That could be quite interesting. I would not want to look back and, like you said, see that man in black behind me. Shaggy, who is not pit yet, his tires look like they have about this lap left, and that would probably be it. Can we take a look at Moose? Yep. Moose has not pit either. And Bobagito comes out on a set of softs. So what do you think, C-Dubs? Is he trying to get 6 laps out of those?
You know, I mean, for the fact that the difference hasn't been that big between the hards and mediums that we saw, he may very well. I mean, he may get 6. So he got what, 10 laps? I think 10 or 11. He got 11 laps out of the medium. So yeah, I think he could pull off 6 laps on the softs. I think it's a good call.
Assuming the rain is on time, right? But what happens if it doesn't rain on lap 18 as you expect?
Which Shaggy said was a possibility. I mean, you could see the rain clouds come in, but not actually put the rain down, or be light enough that you could still be on the soft or medium compound. So yeah, this could get interesting. It's a gamble, you know. I mean, if you're Bobagito, you're second in points, you need things to go just right. You're going to have to roll the dice. It's just going to have to do it.
Yep, that's a great point. And as you can notice, the skies have gotten a little bit gray as Jorge creep up on Wade. He does not want him to have that lap lead and is going to do what he can to get by him before that start finish. Pulls a move onto the inside down on the straight. Looks like he made it. Oh, I think he's going to get stuck fucking back in there for the chicane.
Yeah, Wade's not going to make it easy. He's got a teammate he's trying to look out for. As long as he doesn't do anything crazy, which I don't think Wade would. Oh, yeah, he had to pit anyway.
Now Wade
so
into the pit. Yep, that's what we expected to see there. Another lap would have been pushing it. There goes Shaggy in. We can see Moose expecting him to come into the pits, and he did not.
Yeah, Moose is going to get another lap on the... yeah.
Okay. I couldn't tell. Was Moose flashing those lights? They might have been giving us a little something. A little something for the fans. Jumping aboard with P3 currently, Racer 51, who still has Oak not too far behind him.
So,
Bobagito,
let's go back to Racer 51 real quick. Did he not take on fuel, or just not take on enough fuel? Because he might put himself in a predicament here. He does not have... He's got less than a quarter.
He does. He has less than a quarter, and granted, the skies might look a little bit gray, but I mean, what do you think? 2 laps out of what he's got left, tops? You don't want to run out.
No, I think he might have miscalculated how much he meant to take on there, would be my guess.
And he might also be doing a little bit of fuel saving to try and limit his pit time. Who knows? It doesn't look like he's saving the way that he is keeping these guys currently in check. Oak trying to find an inside spot. Oh, they both stopped.
Oh, got contact.
There was a little bit of contact. I don't know if we'll get to... I think we're going to take another look at that. Okay, here we go. As they come into the hairpin, you'll see 51 just a touch wide there. Looked like he was not on the throttle. He let those guys by, so it looks like he knew that he wanted to get them in front of him for some reason. So, you know, fair play to Racer 51 there, letting those guys go ahead by.
I wonder if Racer had to take a look at his fuel there and thought, I better back down just a little bit here if I'm going to make it.
Yep, Bobagito's challenging.
Yeah, back to P3.
He wants it. He's got that P3 back. He's going to dive into the chicane here. And Oak will not go quietly, I don't expect, so he's going to probably try to stay right there in tow on that back bumper of Bobagito. Now, we still see Racer 51 in P5. I don't see that he's dipping into the pit, so it looks like he is going to try and run that tank for at least one more lap. Let's see if we can have another look at it. Here it is. And this is Bobagito, as you watch, going right down the inside and closing the door there on our commentating buddy there, Mr. Oak. It was a very nice pass. And it looks like he's gotten a little bit of a space there. Watching the gas tank closely of Racer 51, there is Talon of about a half tank of fuel and very good looking tires right now. So you would imagine Talon will be able to close that gap, get himself into P5, considering he has better tires and more fuel than what we're seeing with Racer 51.
Let's don't forget, there's a little gap between 5 and 6, but we can't forget how fast Talon is in the rain. So when this rain comes, certainly advantage to JK85 and Talon. Those guys are crazy fast, and I would expect them to be right up in the mix. Or I should say the mix for second through fourth, somewhere in there.
Yeah, Jorge is taken back over the lead, and I don't even want to talk about how big the delta is right now because it's almost unreal.
Guy's crazy fast. Nothing else to say about it.
We're going to take another look here. It looks like Bobagito is going to make a move on Moose down the inside, right through Spoon, and that was a well-done move there by Bobagito to get himself into P2.
Yeah, very clean pass. He just held his line and kept on the throttle. So now does Moose still need to pit? I cannot recall. Okay, so Moose's tires are he's on the hards. He's got enough tire and fuel for another probably 2-3 laps at the tops here. So he must be trying to take this on into the rain.
And to your point, Moose has done a fantastic job managing both fuel and tires. As you see Racer 51 driving by, not going in. He is very low on fuel. His tires are just fine. He is hoping it's going to rain in lap 16, but the skies almost look like they might be brightening up just ever so slightly.
Yeah, Racer 51, unfortunately, if the rain doesn't come this lap, he's going to have to duck in for fuel, and that's going to move him way back in the pack. And that's a shame because Racer's a very talented racer. He just made a miscalculation. I think we've all done it at some point. I remember I don't remember which even race it was. I was in first place, and Sheldon and I were fighting it out, and I went into the pits. Go ahead.
Let's talk through this. It looks like Oak had made his move, getting himself into P3 with Moose there. Very nice inside move. Moose may not be pushing as hard as some of the other drivers, trying to maintain that tire wear and the grip, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I screwed up. I put the wrong set of tires on, and that was my race. I ended up finishing P13 or 14. So I think we've all done that at one time or another. So I expect Moose. Easy. Yeah, we'll see here. Racer 51, he's got to be pitting this lap, I've got to believe.
I have to agree with you. I think if he doesn't, it's really going to ruin his race for the worse, and he'll be coasting around more of that track than he wants to. So he's now got himself positioned not far behind Moose. Take a little slipstream as Wade ducks up the inside. He's going to try and take off P6 off of Talon's hand. These guys are going to go door to door. Oh, look at this.
Wade, yeah, he's going to have the inside line here. So
yep, Wade's got inside line.
Great
got
pass.
Himself a nice pass done there. He's positioned. He's going to give himself set up for the chicane and see if he can keep that P6 through the next lap. Racer 51 is going to have to make that pit exit, and he did not.
Wow.
Well then, okay. I guess none of us saw that coming. He must be listening to the broadcast, and he said, "I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Keep watching." I've got my notepad out. I am taking notes, Racer 51. Show us how you manage fuel. We want to learn something today.
He just reached down the console and hit the economy button there. He's taking himself out of sport mode. So, yeah, he's just on a Sunday drive.
As we watch the drivers come through the S's here, the first couple turns there, you will notice that our leader is, again, checked out. I mean, wasn't he right in the pack just a few laps ago? How quickly it can change as we see these two, Shaggy and Papa Oso, the Ferrari and the Lamborghini.
Shaggy went wide, but hung on. That was crazy for him to hang on to that, considering where he was on track. I usually go spinning right about there if I touch the grass. So that was a great job, Shaggy, hanging on to it.
Shaggy also one of the drivers we know that runs exclusively on pad. I simply cannot do it on a controller. I can barely do it on a steering wheel.
I hear you.
And jumping on board with Oak, who is currently in P2, trying to hunt back down Bobagito to get back. I said P3, 2. I meant 3. And he's trying to hunt down P2 to get that position. And if you look at the far right next to Naranjo's name, it'll show how far away he is from our leader, who is 21, almost 22 seconds ahead of the front two drivers, or the front 2 and 3. So you'll see Moose in fourth, and he has Wade, who is trying to eye a spot up. Racer 51 seems to be holding himself pretty well, although he is dropping back. He has finally gone into the pits. So Racer 51 worked that tank as far as he could get it. And as you look out the window of Wade CBR, making a move on Moose, going through the inside, that's a very nice pass. The skies look a little dark and gloomy. I would imagine this may be their last lap before these guys go in to take a set of wets or perhaps intermediates.
Yeah, I've got to believe Moose has mapped his fuel out to where he doesn't quite have the power, so he's not going to fight these guys on passes like that have already pitted and got plenty of fuel and tires. So Moose's strategy was obviously to fuel manage, tire manage, and try to make it to the ring.
Yeah, Moose always has a very strong strategy, and he is certainly showing it off here. Holding that P5, actually, he's going to lose P5 to Talon. To your point, no big issue. He didn't seem to contest too much. He is really low on fuel. His tires don't look awesome. I have to imagine he's going to come in on this lap and go ahead and move over to that wet compound. I'd be very interested to see what that radar looks like right now. There, we jump on board Racer 51, who has come out with a full tank, and he is on the wet compound. So, if he got a chance to look at the radar, that may tell us everything we need to know. Perhaps one lap early. And C-Dubs, how fast can you deteriorate your wet tires on dry pavement?
Very, very quickly. And I think he may have inadvertently forced himself into that position. I think he probably meant to take a little bit more fuel, and then he had to just roll the dice. He said, I don't want any more pits, so he went to wets. So if we stay on board with him for just a half a lap here, we'll see some serious degradation on these wets on this dry track.
Yeah, the wets are a little bit slower on dry track as well compared to slick. So Bobagito has gone into the pits. I would imagine we're going to see Moose as well, but we'll have to see how that plays out. And you can see that degradation already on those wet compounds.
Probably 2 to 3 laps on these wets without rain, and they'll be toast. To your point, Slow-Mo, they're not good to drive on. I mean, they're not fast at all on dry pavement. So you combine that fact that he's slower right now with the fact that he's wearing these tires out. Racer 51 might be in a tricky spot here soon.
And Flex Flare is looking for an opportunity to get himself past JK 85. Tight racing between these two right now. Going into the S's, or coming out of the S's, excuse me.
I really like where JK85 is right now. I mean, we're lap 18. We're getting ready to have some rain. He's in P5. We know he's crazy fast in the rain, so I think he's in a really good spot to make a good showing when this is all said and done.
There you go. And Moose, who has still not gone into the pits, running it basically to the radials here. He may also be running on fuel or fumes through the hairpin there. He does not have a lot of fuel left.
He's not going to make it. He is definitely not going to make it. He's got a half a lap to go, and he does not have that kind of fuel. So we're going to watch him run out of fuel in about 5 seconds here.
And you'll notice that his wiper is also on. Yes, you can see on the rain gauge down on the bottom left next to their tires that there is water on the track. Boy, Moose is hitting the straight now. To your point, C-Dubs, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I have to agree with you. I don't think he will. As we see Flex players consider taking a move. Oh, tucks back inside. Doesn't get it done. We didn't have the best angle of that, so maybe he was not quite as close as we thought it was. And here comes the rain, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming down now. So Flex Flare is eyeing up a spot on JK. They are both on slick compounds and into the pits. Here comes Moose. He did make it.
Unreal.
Into the pits. Yeah, talk about a perfectly executed strategy by Moose. He seemed to know exactly when the rain was coming. Not even beyond that, but exactly how much fuel he had to get there. So here is our current leader. Jorge Sr., who is currently 24 seconds ahead of the next closest car. He is already on the wet compound.
So
And he
Moose,
just seems to be increasing his lead. Will somebody get lapped in this race?
I believe they probably. I mean, it's very possible. I shouldn't say probably. I'd say it's very, very possible. And Moose and Racer 51, I'm going to tell both of you guys, I'm not ever questioning your strategy ever again. So what's this little background music we got going on here?
I think we got a little background music here in honor of C-Dubs and our brilliant strategist Peggy.
But here comes a storm.
Right on time. Oh boy. So Oak on the wet compound in second position. He's got a pretty good lead right now over Wade CVR. There's a 4-second gap. You know, like I said the other night, it's got a good like a Jimmy Buffett sound to it. It's you know, not that I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett fan, but it's fun.
You know, when I've been playing with this AI stuff, there's been probably 3 or 4 that kind of get stuck on my head that just make your head bob, and this is certainly one of them. And listen, I'm not taking any credit. So, Shaggy's off. Yeah, Shaggy's off track.
Shaggy, unfortunately, running off just a bit. We're going to see a replay of that. He's close in tail with Moose. And just came in a little bit hot there. And he's on the intermediates, not the wets. If you look at the rain gauge, it is definitely in the top third. Shaggy maybe not laughing at his own mistake currently. There is our leader, who is almost 30 seconds ahead of the next closest driver. Just incredible. Jorge Sr. has something to prove tonight and is putting it all out there.
He sure is. We're 2/3 through the race here. He looks like Jorge just started on lap 20. So 10 more laps.
Here is Oak, followed by Wade CVR. Wade's got Bobagito not too far behind him. Bobagito has Talon not too far behind him. And, you know, C-Dubs, right on cue to the point you made, here are some of the guys who could do very well in the rain. And they're going to get to showcase some of those wet skills.
Yeah, they got Talon. He's obviously really quick. JK85. Honestly, I don't think I saw. Don't remember what Flux's qual time is, but you know he's obviously quick and he's had time to practice. So there's a good chance these guys just hang right up here and put the pressure on Oak and Wade here very soon.
Yeah, these guys seem to kind of group up here a little bit. It's one thing to practice in the rain. It's another thing to practice driving right behind somebody in the rain, because that water will pick up quite a bit. It can kind of make it really tricky to see in some situations.
Well, and I pointed out the other day, you know, I don't know how many people would just drive cockpit view if they weren't in VR, but I know as a VR racer myself, when you're in VR and you get that rain that starts into the deep blue up there, you can't actually hear your car over the rain hitting your windshield, which, you know, I listen to the engine for the RPM cues to shift more than I look at the actual tachometer. So that comes into play.
Yeah, and it can certainly get loud. I've certainly had that experience, and, you know, you're trying to focus and all you hear is that pitter-patter, just loud as ever, crushing on the windshield. It's different when you're going 100 miles an hour, you know?
Just a little bit. It gets a little bit loud.
Looking back from Talon, as you can see, Flux Flare here is right on cue. Going to go ahead and make a move on the outside, perhaps. I don't know if he's going to get that done. He does not. Talon's able to hold that position currently. Flux dives back to the inside, or, well, it'll be the outside for the chicane, unfortunately. So Talon's got that pretty much locked up right now. But perhaps Flux Flare challenging to take Q5 off of Talon's hands.
Flux got through that a lot cleaner than Talon, so he's definitely going to have a run on him here. And he's going to get to the inside if Talon doesn't go over and block him. So he's got his nose past the rear quarter there. So Talon's got a shot, or I'm sorry, Flux has got a shot at getting the overtake here.
And he's going to go ahead and push it a little bit. He's up next door to Talon. It's one thing to drive too wide through this in dry pavement, a whole nother to do it in wet. Flux gets that pass done, very nicely done. He's going to sneak back out and able to keep that P5 done. I thought Talon was going to pull up next to him and challenge again, but it would have been the outside for the following turn, so not the wisest. Talon made a nice, smart move to hold his position. And we will watch the drivers come through the end of the S's here.
Yeah, Oak's doing a great job, too, keeping that gap between himself and Wade. So Oak's definitely putting the pressure on up here.
Yeah, kudos to all of those guys for keeping themselves in it. It is so easy to make mistakes in the rain. So easy.
And the race, your nerves are going more than they would be in practice. So, yeah, nobody's, to my knowledge, has spun out yet. I mean, a couple close calls right there. Oak almost bit it. But, yeah, these guys are hanging on to the cars.
So we're currently on lap 21 of 30. Obviously, our leader has pretty much just, put it into cruise control as far as I can tell. And he's doing warp speed. So he is out, just out. We look on board with Flux Flare as he is trying to hunt down Bobagito. He's got Talon back behind him there. And to your point, you can see that Oak is creating a little bit of space there between him and Wade and maintaining that gap as best as he can.
Yeah, Flux seems to be very, very quick in the rain. He's obviously done his practice. Flux is making up some time on Wade right now. Or I'm sorry, who's Flux behind?
We're riding along JK.
Bobagito.
Bobagito.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, sorry.
And there is Wade, who is now trying to hunt down Mr. Oak. So I guess, unfortunately, I might have cursed Oak. I talked about that gap, and it is not quite as big as it was a lap or two ago. You see, Wade is looking for a position to pass, but these S's may or may not be the place, depending upon what the guy in front of you does. Looks like Oak isn't quite on the apexes for that, so really gives Wade an opportunity to creep up as he ran that S section just a touch smoother.
Yeah, Wade looks really smooth through the S's there. That's all throttle control. That is just feathering that throttle to the edge. Did a great job there.
Oh, they got wiggle. Oak had a little wiggle there coming out, getting ready for this Casio triangle. No problem. Let's see if we can have another look there. And that may not be what we thought it was. Okay. So back to Oak is still currently maintaining P2. Wade is right behind him. There's a little wiggle coming out of the hairpin. Boy, that group of 5 cars is stacked up all of a sudden. And actually, can we take a look backwards from Wade? Yeah, it looks like Flux Flare and Bobagito are currently door to door. I think Flux is going to try and get by him here in this section.
Yes, he did. He got him.
And it looks like he's got that done. Well done by Flux to get himself by. Talon is not far behind, who may be also trying to get a pass done. Looking on board with Flux Flare looking ahead at Wade CVR, who is trying to close that gap on. Oh, we're going to get another look at that. She does. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, so Bobagito almost got down to the inside and decided to back out, and Flux just hammered down. So Flux got by him, and you can see Talon back there. Talon's putting the pressure on Bobagito. Bobagito's getting it from every which way right now. He just needs to. He's quick. He knows what he's doing. He's just got to take a deep breath and get back in it.
Yeah, what a great move that was made there by Flux, and so easy to make mistakes when you're trying to push and get by somebody, especially in these treacherous conditions. Coming on board with Puddin' Dixon back to JK85, you'll see Shaggy. Shaggy currently running in P9. He is 39 seconds off the leading pace, but only 1.7 back from JK.
Did we miss something? Because wasn't Shaggy in 13th when he just had that bobble here maybe 2-3 laps ago?
He was. He was back a little bit further.
So Shaggy's definitely he's made up a little He made
It
some
looks like
progress back there.
the Rainmaker has done a bit of practice in these conditions. Yeah, and I think the rain is actually slowing up just a touch. It looks like that moisture meter is down into the intermediate territory on that second third. Flux Flare next door to Wade. Oh, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Looks like Flux has got a clear path forward. Wade's going to tuck back in between him and Bobagito.
So this will get real interesting after this, after Spoon here when they go onto the long straight. We'll see who's got the power and who's got the draft. See if there's any moves that occur there. Also, we thought the strategy was tricky prior to the rain. It'll be interesting to see what happens here as the rain slows down and when guys go into pit. I know that I feel like some of the guys on mediums they've still got hards, so they're going to have to pit again to get hards here shortly.
Yeah, and the other challenge these drivers are going to face as they start to transition to the slick compound is getting passes done where you're going to have to come off of the dry line to do that. So that adds a little bit of an additional level of challenge for getting your passes done late race.
Oh,
Shaggy makes a nice move past JK there. I don't know if JK lost it, but looked like that was pretty easy. And, Shaggy's actually on the intermediates. Here we go. We'll get another look at, what are we looking at here? Oh, here we go. Here's Shaggy. Oh, we're looking at JK, who ran just a hair wide there on the straight. Shaggy able to position and drive right by without a challenge.
and JK 85 did great to hang on, and looks like Flux has gone into the pits here.
So let's see if we can go back. We're not sure how Shaggy ended up into P4. Looks like he's going to push and find his way inside. Yep, as Puddin breaks and goes a little wide there. Shaggy right up onto the back end of Bobagito there. Those intermediate tires certainly seem to be paying off for Shaggy's choice. And we got another replay as Shaggy makes this move on Bobagito. It's almost not fair. Look at the difference there. He's just driving by everybody right now. The Rainmaker's got it under control. My goodness.
I mean, 2 laps ago we said how impressive it was. He was at P9 and you blink and he's in P4. So there's something happened, something we missed, a lobby glitch, who knows, but or Shaggy's just putting the hammer down. I'm not sure.
Coming on board with our leader, he ran just a touch wide there. Let's see if we can get another look at that. He's coming down the straight, giving it all the beans. Let's see if he lets up at all. I don't imagine he does. Yep, he sure does. Okay. And brakes. Oh, yeah, just a little wide. Now, did he get a penalty for that? I don't know that I saw one. And Jorge's going to come on into the pits and get himself up at that compound.
Yeah, so Jorge has to get on hards here. So he'll be on hards. Doesn't need fuel. I would expect him to go on hards and no fuel.
And these guys have about 6 laps left as we watch the field come through the final chicane.
Now
Jorge has come on those hards, as you mentioned. Yep.
A lot of guys going into the pits now.
And Shaggy's going to go ahead and stay out on those intermediates. I would imagine this is the last lap he's going to run on those. You can tell that tire degradation is showing pretty significant signs. There is P3 and Flux Flare, who has gotten himself onto the medium compound, about a half tank of fuel. He should be set for the remainder of the race. Yeah, Flux did jump in a lap earlier than most of the drivers there, and really that undercut seemed to work out beautifully for him. As you can see, he has got quite a bit of room between him and P4, Wade CBR, who has taken the hard compounds. Talon on the hard compounds. Oak is also on the hard compounds. Yeah, I was going to say the majority of the field started medium. There you have Bobagito on the hards. Moose on the soft compound.
Yeah, and if we know anything about Moose has a way of making tires and fuel last. So I suspect Moose will be just fine.
Yeah, I would agree. Obviously, we've seen Moose knows his strats. There is Puddin on the hards. We have JK on the mediums, so tire advantage there. Papa Oso still intermediate.
Oh, and Papa Oso
Papa
gets a
Oso runs
spin there.
wide. Slowpoke is going to be able to make that move, no problem. See if we can have another look. Papa Oso coming into the Casio. Oh, a little much on the initial input there, I guess. It is very difficult to navigate those couple of turns interlocked together.
Can we take a look at the gap? I'm sorry. Can we take a look at the gap between P2 and P3? So 7 seconds. So Flux is on the racing compound. Shaggy's on the intermediates. Flux is on medium. Shaggy's on intermediates. There's 6 seconds. Do we think Shaggy can hold Flux off?
Shaggy's already gone to the pits.
Okay.
So the answer is no. Yep, where he is going to come out is what I am anxious to see. He's got 41% fuel. I can't imagine he's going to have to take too terribly much. P7 is Moose. Here comes Shaggy, who looks like he's going to drop in behind Moose and Bobajito in P8. Not a terrible spot to be. Moose working to stretch those softs out for a few more laps. Shouldn't be a problem. P6, we saw him do just an incredible strat for the first half before the wet stint there. And we're going to take a look back here as we've got a group of folks with Shaggy, Puddin, and JK kind of bunched up there. You know, C-Dubs, kind of to your point from earlier, if I'm in 7, 8, or 9, that's what I'm really trying to work with the guy next to me. But Puddin's going to stick his nose in. He could not quite get that done.
Yeah, that's going to be a tight little group to watch here. You know, obviously, he's quick guys. And Shaggy, he's already pulled a few tricks and made up a couple of spots. So let's see what he can do here with, 5 laps here to go.
Puddin Dixon in that Aussie car looks great. So there is our current leader. He has been leading the majority of this race. He is currently sitting about 16 seconds in front of our second driver in Flux Flare. Flux Flare has a pretty significant gap between him and Wade CBR as we watch him run just a touch wide there. Doesn't seem to be a harm or foul. Here comes Wade. Heavy brakes here for the chicane with Talon quite closely behind there. So Talon has not given up for the podium yet. And Moose in top 5. Oak trying to get back into the top 5, not far behind Moose. And he's got Bobajito in tow. And then you'll see Shaggy right back behind Bobajito, just 2 seconds back. So it's a little bit of a gap, but not as bad as you would think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Shaggy catch Bobajito and make a good race out of that. Good competition there. So can we take a look again? I wanted to see how far Jorge's pulling on Flux Flare. I was kind of is actually the gap has dropped. So I was wondering about that a while ago. So Flux right now is making up time on Jorge. Now there's not enough laps raced or not enough laps in the race to make that, but the fact that he's making up ground on him tells you that Flux is pushing pretty hard.
Yeah, to that point, you can see that delta drop ever so slightly between 2 and 3. And there is Wade, who is doing everything he possibly can to try and catch up to P2, but that gap is getting larger as we watch Flux try to close ground on Jorge. Talon is staying as close as he possibly can to Wade, keep himself in position to have an opportunity for that third podium position. And Moose, who is not out of the hunt at all, is right back at P5 behind Talon.
So did Shaggy have an issue? Because he was just behind Bobajito, so he's dropped back to P10. So
I don't know if we're going to be able to catch it. Let's see if we can see what happened. Nope, that is Shaggy popping back into 10th position. Unfortunately, we just missed it, but unfortunate for Shaggy to see him dropping positions there. I know you were looking for Shaggy Bobagito battle, but perhaps we'll still get it if he can get past Puddin and JK there. And he is going to try. It looks like this might be our tightest battle on the track right now, as Shaggy is trying to force his way up into the P9, maybe 8, maybe 7.
But you can see there's still a little moisture on the outside of the racing lines. So to your point, Stomo, these guys are not, they don't have the passing opportunities right now that they did early on in the race. They pretty well have to stay in that racing line. Everybody's on the hards or medium compounds or a couple softs, but nonetheless, nobody's on intermediates or wets. They pretty well have to stay in that racing line, which is going to make passing very difficult.
Yeah, Shaggy is closing on Puddin ever so slightly. I don't know that he's going to be done. We're jumping with Moose right now, down Talon, P4. Just under a second back. It is decreasing as they go through the end of the S's here.
Whole different Moose when he's not in fuel saving mode here. He's putting the hammer down.
Yeah, and they only have a few laps left, so Moose knows now is the time to act if he's going to get anything done. Here comes the Moose. Watch out for the horns.
Yeah, this P3 battle is about to be something here. Just a few laps to go.
And here you go. Moose is going to tuck himself on the inside, drive by Talon perhaps. I don't know. Talon's going to have the position 4 now. I didn't know if Moose was going to be able to maintain that. It would have given him the inside for Spoon, but it didn't quite work out as he had hoped. He's eyeing up that inside route.
He's going to stay patient here and just get a clean line out of here, tuck into Talon, and get this pass done before the end of the straight. That's what I'm thinking.
I would have to agree with you. It looks like that's exactly what Moose has done. Talon seems to be staying in the middle of the track. Maybe a little bump draft there from Moose to Talon.
Maybe that's Moose saying, "Hey, Talon, let's go catch P3 and make this a good race."
Let's go get this. Yeah. They want to take it away from Wade. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Talon is a free agent.
He is.
Okay, so you got MMR, the Fart Racing team. They want to dethrone CBR. I know.
Yeah, this is shaping out to be a battle for P3 here.
It is, and we see Wade, who is undoubtedly looking in his rearview mirror, wondering what is coming next, and can he get that Ferrari any wider? Try and stay in the way of Talon and Moose and not let them have any opportunity to slide by.
And y'all, already, next time across the line's the white flag.
That's right.
We are almost there already. This race has flown by.
Penultimate lap here. And it looks like Moose has given Talon a little bit of space there. I don't know if that was intentional. Maybe trying to maintain his tires a little bit because he is on that soft compound. Oh, and here goes Moose. He's taking the inside there. He's going to drive by Talon and get that turn done before they get up into Spoon. Exactly where we saw he wanted to try and get that pass done last time. So looks like he might have something on Talon. Here you go as they come out of the hairpin. Moose, nice position. Really nice move to the throttle. Nice and smooth. Gets the power down, and he is able to drive by Talon without a problem.
Yeah, so I suspect a lot of that has to do with that soft compound. He's just able to get on the throttle a little bit harder, a little bit quicker.
Yeah, does that change your approach for tomorrow's race yet? Oh, and unfortunately, it looks like Oak has gotten himself into a little bit of trouble. I think he was coming into Spoon. Let's have a look. So he's going to make this left here. Yeah, he's not going to make that. He's on the rumble strips, which are extremely wet, and round goes the Beamer. Sorry to see that, Oak. That is unfortunate timing. I'll put him down to P11. Shaggy currently in P9. And it looks like Shaggy's positioning to make a move. What timing by production to get us there? I don't know that he got it done there. He's on the straight. He is in the slipstream for Puddin. Puddin
Ferrari
is running defensive there.
Got a yellow flag. We got an issue
Yellow
up front here.
flag, yellow flag. I see who it is. Oh no, not
Oh
Moose.
no!
Down to P9. Let's see if we can see what happens. He is behind Wade coming into the first turn. He's on the rumble strip. That's bad news. Oh, rumble
Yes,
strips in wet conditions or drying track conditions will always upset the vehicle. That is unfortunate. We saw that from Oak, and now also Moose, a victim of the sausage.
and Moose was making a run. He was pushing to P3 there. He was doing great.
And then in the meantime, we saw Shaggy make a nice move on Puddin to get through to take P7. And here is the one, the only, the senior of Jorge. He is all by himself. Actually, I take that back. Flux has absolutely diminished that gap he had. There was a 7-second gap. It was in the teens prior. So, how about that from Flux Flare, putting some serious pressure, not quite in the review of Jorge, but he certainly put that pressure on. You know, Jorge was watching that Delta shrink as he continued to drive. Jorge is going to bring home the win for Split 1, Week 9. Congratulations. Flux Flare is going to take P2. Here comes P3. So we've got Wade and Talon. Wade looks to be able to hold off Talon for the time being. And I think that is how they're going to cross. Wade takes P3. Talon in P4. JK in P5 currently. And it looks like Bobagito not far behind. There is Shaggy trying to get himself up. Nope, he is going to be 7. Puddin' Dixon 8. Slowpoke in 9th. Oak in 10th.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Oak and Moose. Both of those
Yeah,
guys had a much better race going to end up in P10 and 11.
I agree. I agree. That's the unfortunate of racing. It only takes one issue and it can for you, but those guys did a really good job throughout the remainder of the race. It's just an unfortunate way for that to end for them. Better Dan and Papa Oso working their way to the finish line here to close out our grid. And Better Dan in that Corvette, we didn't see too much from him, but kudos to him. He is in a tough group of drivers here. My goodness, and we know he's certainly got the skill. And there is Papa Oso closing out our grid in P14. Ooh, what a race we got to witness tonight. A little bit of everything. You had some wet running. You had some enormous gaps that you thought were almost insurmountable that turned out to be a little bit less scary in the end. Goodness. C-Dubs, you want to take us through the final results here?
Yeah, absolutely. P1, you know who it is. It's Jorge, and just put on a dominant performance. Something tells me he probably backed off just a little bit in those last couple laps there. But right behind him, 7 seconds behind, I should say, or actually 6 seconds. He dropped it to Flux Flare, then Wade CBR, then Talon, JK85, Bobagito, PHG Shaggy Doo. We got Puddin' Dixon. And then we got Slowpoke Rods. We got Oak, then Moose, then Racer 51, Vetterdan, Papa Oso, and Fast Cougar DNF. I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening. Might have had an engine failure along the way. Unfortunate for Fast Cougar. But wow, what a race these guys put on here. I'm sure everybody in the following splits was taking very, very detailed notes as these guys put on quite the session. Yeah, and if you think about it, C-Dubs Wade started back in P8, makes himself all the way up the grid onto a podium. So, not only doing that in a regular lobbies thing, but done it in split 1, which is just it's incredible.
Yeah, and a few times we were on board with Wade. I think what I recall is Wade just tried to stay smooth and consistent, and he did that all the way through and got himself a solid podium there.
Yeah, bravo! What a great show these guys put on for our first of 2 races tonight. So now that we step away from the track for just a moment, C-Dubs, let me ask you, who would you say is your driver of the split?
We were just talking about Wade to make those kind of gains in that kind of field, which Wade's very fast. Not taking anything away from him, but I'm going to go with Wade there.
Okay, that's a very it's a hard to argue with choice. Although I do have a little argument. I can't go with anybody else besides Jorge Sr. I mean, it was dominant. I know there is kind of that rule of thumb, like you don't always want to take the guy that wins, but my goodness, when it's done like that, to your point, I don't know if he let up or if it was just the difference in tires that caused that delta to start decreasing towards the end of the race, but he certainly put his foot down and showed everybody that he has got what it takes to bring home the bacon in this one. So mine would be definitely for Jorge Sr.
So in
Well,
Oak's absence right now, Oak, I think is going to join us here in a little bit, but in his absence, I'm going to pick one for him because we can't leave Flux out of there. I mean, Flux was right
fair.
there. He was closing on Jorge at the end. I cannot leave Flux out of the mix. So those three guys, top three, awesome, awesome job.
Yeah, that's bravo. I enjoyed watching that. These guys are fantastic. That was just incredible. So I think we are going to take a quick little break. Get yourself a fresh beverage, a nice snack, to stretch your legs a little bit and get yourself geared up and ready. We are coming back with the split three drivers. They are going to be at the same track. Similar conditions. We don't know exactly when that rain is going to hit, but we know they're going to have to deal with it. So come back with us and let's see how the race three or split three racers manage this track today.
Engines scream through the neon haze. The road's alive in a fiery blaze. Tires whisper secrets to the night. Speed's the language. Shadows take flight. Chasing horizons. The thrill won't wait. Racing the future. It's a twist of fate. Every second burns. No time to waste. Chasing horizons. Feel the endless chase.
And we are back preparing for our split 3 drivers to run the track that we witnessed. Quite a spectacle there from our split 1 guys. I am joined in the commentary booth. It's the booth by Oak, who has freshly come off track. Oak, unfortunate ending there, but really, all in all, that was a great run from you.
Yeah, it was difficult to keep it straight, but overall, I like how everything was ran this season. It was a really great season, for everybody. It was definitely a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, that was excellent. Fun to watch. That's the split 1 never disappoints, and generally, all the splits we've seen have been very close. So I expect nothing less with our split 3 drivers, and I believe we're going to go through a couple different things here before we get into our track information. Let's just talk about our sponsor. And first of all, a big thank you to Lithograph Comics for sponsoring the season. Lithograph Comics is not a store, but rather a comic book enthusiast bringing awareness to the hobby and the comic book collecting community. He's located on Instagram. You'll find Greg, aka Litho, sharing comic book history stories and his personal collection spanning 35 and more years of his comic book journey. That's Lithograph Comics on Instagram. Check him out. Make sure and drop in there. And I forget, what do you like, or how's that work?
I think a like and a repost.
There you
That's what
go.
it is.
Okay. Like and repost. Give him some love. And quick look there at where the manufacturers are. But before we get into the race, Oak, do you mind taking us through our race settings for tonight?
Yes, sir. So drivers had to do a split qualifying Thursday and Wednesday to get into the split that they are in. For this race, it'll be a 30-lap race on the Suzuka full course. Tires will be 4X with racing hards required, and fuel will be 3 times in Group 3 machinery.
Yeah, and obviously that is the Group 3 for the manufacturers these drivers have selected. This is a manufacturer series, so these guys have picked a manufacturer and stuck with it for the entirety of the series. Here we are going to take a look at our split 3 drivers. Oak, if you don't mind, run us through the grid, please.
Yes, sir. So in first place overall, we have Leo PHG in the Mazda. Second place, we have Strict 9 in the Nissan. Third place, PHG Stiggy in the Alfa Romeo. Fourth place, we have Jay Collins in the Ferrari. Fifth place, we have PHG Jersey in the Toyota. Sixth place, we have Slick in the Ferrari. Seventh place, we have SRP Mr. Racing in the Nissan. Eighth place, we have Steven Sills in the Ferrari. Ninth place, we have KW in the Dodge. 10th place, we have PHG Iron Fix in the Audi. 11th place, we have Dado in the Toyota. 12th place, we have Saint in the Subaru. 13th, we have PHG Nastia in the Ford. And 14th, we have PHG Skellington in the Chevy.
Yeah, a really close grid there. It looks like we're going to see some fantastic racing from this group as well. And again, those positions are only tentative. Drivers will still qualify for the starting grid positions before they get into race. So I wonder if the drivers are ready to get on track yet. We looks like they are not quite ready, so we'll take just a few more minutes. So, Oak, tell me about what are some of the keys for third split drivers to be successful through this, besides staying off the wet curbs?
I think for split 3 drivers, they should honestly, I think the best shot is to start on mediums and end up just trying to nurse those tires to around lap 9 and go again for mediums for another 9 laps until that rain hits. When that rain hits, it's a choice between either intermediates or wet. Honestly, I probably would go wets just to stay safe. But overall, I think this race is just about keeping it straight on the track and not getting into any spinning, certainly.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see Shaggy on the intermediate. The ground he was able to make up as you started to see that rain let up ever so slightly towards the end of the wet stint. And boy, he was passing people like they were sitting still in a couple of situations. So, I think there's a lot of different strategies that we're going to see. And, generally speaking, there's so many strategies that can come out. Sometimes you see the whole grid go with the same strat, and other times you see it mix quite a bit. Personally, if you'd make me bet on it, I would bet we're going to see a wide variety of different strategies here with our split 3 drivers. I mean, Oak, to your point, I think I would have to just flip a coin to decide which tires I'm starting on. I don't know. I always like to get the whole compound out of the way if I have to run it. So, maybe starting at the mid backpack, I would start with that hard compound and get it out of the way and kind of do that moose strategy. My goodness, time that for his fuel. Unfortunate he had a little similar to Oak did, but either way, well executed strategy. He did everything he could to get himself in position. It just didn't work out today.
Yeah.
Just another example. I mean, racing is so finicky. You can do everything right, and sometimes there's just luck might not be on your side, as both you guys seem to experience with that. And tell us a little bit about that unfortunate curb incident. You didn't hit it too hard, but send that beamer around, right?
Yeah, so unfortunately, coming up to a spoon curve, I ended up just touching the curve just a little bit, where I guess it was too much, and the rain ended up getting the best of me. So I ended up doing a couple of spins.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you see so many drivers sometimes will push those curves when they're wet and it's not a problem. And it's only okay until it's not, and it looked like that was one of those times. So it looks like our drivers are getting out on track. We've got our grid ready to run their qualifying laps and see where they're going to start. So there you take a look through some of these liveries. The Stiggy livery. There's that classic PHG Corvette and Jack Skellington. One of my wife's favorite drivers. Slick
Very
VR
nice.
Love that. I love that chameleon look.
I like the black on this Ferrari. Nice and slick.
Yeah, that's a classy look there, isn't it? He's got a target on his back.
He's calling out to the drivers behind him. Love to see it.
And there is K-Dub in that mean old Dodge Viper. Obviously, Velvet Thunder also runs the Team Dodge. There's Leo in the Screaming Eagle. TK says dub up the Screaming Eagle. It sounds wonderful. Looks good. Always a great time to say thank you to a veteran. Don't ever forget to thank your veterans around you. We appreciate all your service for the men and women. And Saint, a new driver this week. And that is such a good-looking Red Bull livery.
That is nice. I like that one a lot.
Splatter paint front end, that's slick. Iron fixed in the Audi. We have seen a lot of that Audi. It's a good-looking car. There is Strict 9. Strict 9 in the GTR. Joe Collins in that lithograph for Ferrari.
Loving the pink as well.
Yep, there's the FU Cancer. That's the thing I go to. And look at the TK's Tribute Panther, the Rainbow Panther on the front. Yeah, love it. Nice job, Nasty on the livery. Let's see what Jersey's got. FU Cancer, amen. In that Supra, that's a good looking look. I like the cut. What is that? Like a tiger look? I'm not sure. That's sharp.
Oh yeah.
Little chameleon purple on that.
All these
And
liveries today are certainly sharp.
Yeah, these guys came out with some good stuff, and we're going to jump on board with Daddy-O. Oh, actually moving back to Mr. Racing. Now back to Daddy-O. Okay. Yep, Daddy-O has got himself a little bit of space in front of the field, and he is going to be first across the line with a hot lap. And he's going to run spoon wide. I don't know what happened. Oh, I couldn't quite keep it together, and he's going to try and get himself out of the way of the rest of the field. Oh, all four tires on the curb, and just that. You see that light color green over there? That is AstroTurf, ladies and gentlemen. There is zero traction to be had once you get there. So it looks like Mr. Racing is going to be our first driver to put up a valid hot lap. Not that Daddy-O's isn't valid, but you know that's going to be a throwaway for him, or a drop lap, if you will. Mr. Racing coming across the line with a 2:02.042 to start us off. Stiggy putting up I missed it. So we will watch these guys come through as the grid begins to shape itself up. Still quite a few drivers to still come through on their first lap. Currently, Leo, our other commentator there, is down in 8th position. Joe Collins puts himself up into P1 with his 2:01.834. Very nicely done from Joe. And we know that for the audio go.
If I was Joe here, I would pit after that first flying lap, you know. Depending on how those tires feel, I would certainly try to pit after this lap here.
Yeah, Oak, that's a great point. And I generally am not that great at having a qualifying strategy. I kind of just, but getting that fresh set of rubber can really make a difference as you get onto your next hot lap, right?
Yeah, certainly, because if you end up doing a lap, certainly in a 10-minute qualifier, you don't really have that much room to play with, certainly, but it's important to go into one of these qualifying sessions with the strategy in mind, because you're setting yourself up good so you could, have a good finishing result. Yeah.
It can be so easy to get distracted on practicing about, I got to make sure I can drive in the rain, and I wonder what my strategy is, but if you don't have a good qualifying strategy, your race strategy might not mean too much, and you end up putting yourself in a really tricky spot to start. Saint, who is one of our newer drivers, currently in P5 with his qualifying time. He is about just over a second away from our leader there, so he's got a 2:02.585. And we watch Saint get ready for that heavy braking. King, nice job cutting the curves. And can he improve from his P5 position up down to 6 as somebody has jumped up ahead? And he cannot just yet. So currently we've got Jersey Collins, Mr. Racing in 1, 2, 3. And you start to see drivers taking Oak's advice, coming in and getting that fresh rubber.
Yeah. Certainly. I mean, I think now would be the best time to I think now actually might be a little too late, because you certainly only have 3 minutes left, and if you pit now, you might not have a lap to finish off with.
Yeah, they'd be cutting it close to get that last one in, as we saw a lot of guys during the qualifying, trying to squeeze that lap in and got cut off right after the tank.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently on board with K-Dubs. And Oak, do you want to kind of talk us through what he's trying to do as he's coming up the hairpin and through the spoon?
Yeah, so I would, on this, since he's got Skellington behind him, it'll be kind of tough to judge what to do. I think he's going to try to get past, or it's hard to tell because these drivers are really trying to push to their limits, and it's hard when you're catching up to a driver and you end up being stuck behind them. So I think K-Dub, he's going to stick behind him. I think he's going to stick behind him for this lap. He may end up pitting as well, so.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens. He kind of tucks in, takes some slipstream. He's going to give Skellington a little bit of a bump, I guess, coming down that back straight. Let's see if there's a lift. There is, so he's definitely going to keep his spacing that back there behind Skellington. So now back to your point, the question is he coming in for a fresh set?
I don't think he'll have time, I think.
8.5, yeah, I was just looking at that. Skellington's going to go ahead in. So let's see if it works out for him. He's going to have to get back on track pretty quickly, although they do have a 2-minute runoff. And on board with our 4th position driver, currently in PHG Iggy, who's got strict 9, 1/10 behind him. And he is only 2/10 away from Mr. Racing. So you'll see the tight grid up at the top there. Very, very tight competition. Stiggy coming out of the S's here. Following behind Mr. Racing, looking for... He is 2/10 up on his previous fastest lap. He runs a little bit wide. It's got him in the grass, and he's going to lose it there. So that is probably going to be the last hot lap for Stiggy, unfortunately. We take another look at what happens over onto the dirt and the grass, and just couldn't quite get that car turned around there.
Yeah, just some understeer for him. That's really unfortunate.
It is, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and park it in the pits and have his pit crew do a once-over, get ready for the race, and let these guys go ahead and sort out where they're going to finish. Currently on board with our 1st position driver with Jersey, who's got almost a second lead over the next fastest driver in Joe Collins. So a 2:01.400 for Jersey right now. And if I'm not mistaken, he just went purple on that section there. So he has an opportunity to even belt that. Joe Collins is still on track, so it is possible that we can see some more shakeup before we get into the race. Up by 2/10, almost 3/10.
Nice improvement if he's able to get this.
We jump on board with Joe Collins here for a second, and he is yielding a position to strict 9, perhaps. I'm not sure. Maybe just a little switchback around with him. Those guys are just having a good old time out there. Go down the straight side by side. Why not?
This is interesting to see because it's qualifying. So as he goes behind them, that's nice. Good sportsmanship.
Yep, fair play to you there. And Mr. Racing puts up a 2:01.311 to go ahead and try and secure pole. Leo positioning himself in P3 with Joe Collins in P4, Iron Fix currently in P5, Stiggy sitting in P6 in the pits, Strict 9-7, Saint in 8. Let's see, what else do we have down there? We've got, I believe, one more driver maybe coming through the chicane right now. Hello.
See if he's able to improve.
And he positions himself across the line in 10th position. Okay.
Good improvement. 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, that's certainly a strong improvement over a previous lap. So I believe that is our qualifying. Everybody should be through. And that will set our grid. Oak, do you mind running us through the grid here?
Yes, sir. So, in first place overall, we have PHG Jersey in GR Supra with a 2-minute 01.8.0. Sorry. Second place, we have SRP Mr. Racing in the Nissan with a 2-minute 1.3. In third place, we have our fellow commentator Leo in the RX Vision with a 2-minute 1.6. In fourth place, we have Jay Collins in the 458 Italia with a 2-minute 1.8. In fifth place, we have PHG Iron Fix in the R8 with a 2-minute 2.3. In sixth place, we have PHG Stiggy in the 4C with a 2-minute 2.3. Seventh place, we have PHG Strychnine in the GTR with a 2-minute 2.4. In eighth place, we have Saint in the WRX with a 2-minute 2.5. In ninth place, we have KW in the Viper with a 2-minute 2.5. In 10th place, we have Datto in the GR Supra with a 2-minute 2.9. In 11th, we have PHG Skellington in the Corvette C7 with a 2-minute 4.1. In 12th place, we have PHG Nastia in the Mustang Group 3 with a 2-minute 4.8. In 13th, we have Steven Sills in the 458 with a 2-minute 6.1. And in last place, we have PHG Slick in the 458 with a 2-minute 10.7.
Yeah, and I would imagine those two Ferraris just did not get their best laps down because, ironically, they're both down at the bottom of the pack. How exciting to see one of our new drivers, Saint, up there in P8 in the WRX, a man after my own heart. I know Shaggy's back there rooting for him as well, so we'll be anxious to see how that plays out for Team Subaru in this. I don't think we have seen a Subaru through the entire series yet, so that is the first person to take on that Subaru manufacturer. Oak, any surprises through that qualifying after seeing the times that they put up in their initial placement qualifier?
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised with a Jersey. I mean, I've seen him be fast, but I didn't think he would be fast by 2/10. So I'm excited to see what he can do in this race. You've got SRP Mr. Racing, which is a close buddy of mine. I think you'll have some good battling to do with him. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I was a little shocked. I was hoping Leo would do better, although he's got himself a great starting position. I know he did very well in the race. So before coming into the actual race qualifying, he had himself up by about a second over the next qualifying person. So, that may play into how these guys run once it starts raining, and we know it will. So,
Yeah.
Is the question, Oak, did you do any practice where you didn't see rain? It's going to rain, right?
Yeah, it'll for sure rain. It's a matter of time when it will rain. So it could either hit a lap or two early, a lap or two late. It all just depends. So.
Okay. I believe the drivers are in the driving seat. Cars are in grid order. And I
Ready
think
to
they're
go.
just about ready to go. Yeah. Let's get this show on the road. Here we go to the track. We're going to ride on board with Jersey as they get this rolling start going here. So a rolling start certainly puts them in position to be able to kind of tuck into line. And, sometimes you can get through an entire lap without seeing too many challenges, but it all depends on what the tire differences are between some of these folks. So our leader has opted to go on so we've got Jersey on the hards. We're curious to see what the following cars have as we come into the first section of turns. Mr. Racing is right hot on his tail.
Yeah, this will be. I think if these drivers can keep it nice and clean, I think this will certainly be a close battle here between the top three.
Yeah, and Mr. Racing is apparently on the mediums, and proving me wrong right from the get-go. He is challenging this Jersey as soon as they started getting into the second set of turns. Jersey runs just a little bit of wide. Mr. Racing able to put himself through and go ahead and secure P1 for the moment. Wonder if he will be able to keep that. Only time will tell. Leo currently in P3, who is back charging down on Jersey, who has run wide, unfortunately. He is going to lose a couple positions. That is unfortunate for Jersey. Really good start. He is back down into P9 at this point. Let's get a replay and see if we can see what happened to Jersey. Mr. Racing goes by him there. He's making a right-hand turn and just a little wide. As I said, that light green is AstroTurf. Didn't do it, but that did. He wasn't able to get himself positioned for the last turn there before the hairpin, and the field proceeds to drive by him.
Yeah, that curb can really ruin your race, as it did with mine. So you really have to be careful on there.
Yep. So now we see that shaking up our grid a little bit, Mr. First, Leo in second, Stiggy in P3 as we look at Stiggy and Iron Fix. Stiggy able to close that door down, get himself wide. Iron Fix might run a little bit wide. He's still in it. Joe Collins is keeping his nose up there, and he's going to take P4 off of Iron Fix's hands as they go through the chicane. Yeah, let's see if we can have another look. Oh, you can see Iron Fix just got himself wide and really not a whole lot. Collins didn't have a lot of trouble getting by him. So he's going to tuck back in line and try and position himself for the remainder of the race. You'll see that Iron Fix is on mediums. And wonder if we can take a run through the grid and just kind of check tires, like hard, medium. A hard on K-Dubs. Hards on Jersey. Skellington with the hards. Slick hards.
It's a lot more hards. A lot more hards that I'm seeing here compared to Split 1.
Ghetto on the hards. Saint on the hards. And Nasty on the hards. Okay, well, you got a lot of hards at the back of the pack, so looks like they are getting that compound out of the way and then, intermediates or softs and then on.
If I was our leader here, I would.
What were you saying, Oak?
If I was our front leader here, I'd try to just disappear as much as I can on those mediums. Since everybody's on hards, I would really try to push it as much as I can.
Yeah, we ride on board with Iron Fix as he is trying to hunt down Joe Collins to get that P4 back. Got a good look at him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done until he gets to the straight. Going to creep up into that back end a little bit closer through Spoon. It's all about the exit here. As you see Joe Collins get a nice exit, Iron Fix does as well. Joe Collins not able to gain any traction and get away. As you see Iron Fix go ahead. Is he bumping? No, he is going to go ahead and tuck his nose in the inside. He's got a good look. Lets off and able to make that turn, no problem. Well done by Iron Fix to get that P4 back off of Joe Collins' hands. Jumping on board with Stiggy, who is trying to hunt down Leo in the Screaming Eagle. And you can hear Leo and see him.
Oh, yeah. The car certainly resembles a bald eagle. Nice and loud.
Oh, do you ever drive the Mazda?
I used to back in the day, but now, since it's not really the car to use, I tend to stay away from it.
Fair. Yeah, that's kind of how I've been with the Subaru. Loved it for so long, but it just hadn't been viable in so long. I hadn't been able to get into it, so.
Yeah. That's how it is with most of these cars.
To your point, it looks like Mr. Racing is doing exactly what you suggested and trying to get himself away from Leo.
Yeah, this is good, especially with Stiggy and Leo kind of battling for position here. He's going to really get himself ahead here.
Is, and there is also something to be said about the tire wear you're going to experience while you're in dirty air following somebody. So Stiggy is unfortunately going to have to deal with that as he just rides the back end of Leo's car for the most part. Trying to get a switchback done. I don't know if it's going to work. Leo has the inside for this next sweeping right. It was not able to get it done, but a really nice position. Stiggy certainly making Leo nervous, making sure he knows he is there. So Leo is going to go ahead and approach Spoon, taking the inside line. Spoon is all about the exit, and it looks like Stiggy's got a really nice exit on Leo. Is he going to be able to get the pass done?
Certainly going to have the run.
He's peeking on the inside. He's going to have it as they come up to a little deep right. Leo's going to go ahead and yield, let him have it. Maybe even a little bump draft there. As you see Iron Fix come up, and Iron Fix is going to stick his nose into that battle as well. It seems to be a pretty generous penalty. I see a lot of guys run wide. As I say, that Joe Collins is fired one coming through.
Commentator's curse.
It is. Did he get it on the chicane? I guess he did. Oh, he cut 4 tires there. Yep, you got to keep them all.
Too much curb.
Yep, just a little bit too much. It's so easy to do. We've seen very few penalties through the first race and a quarter that we've seen so far. Jersey is trying to psych everybody out. He's got his wipers on, trying to show these guys rain's coming. You may not know it, but it's on. Oh, now it's off. Okay.
He's making good progress. He's made good progress. You know, coming up from I think it was 10 to 6. So good comeback. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, you would imagine he's got the pace after putting himself in such a great qualifying position. Jumping on board with KW 47. Oh no, Slick unfortunately gets into a little bit of trouble there. Take another look at what happened. Coming into that right-hand turn and just a little bit too wide. Couldn't quite get any traction down on that AstroTurf and slid himself sideways. Not too bad. No damage acquired, but he did have to get himself moving again. So he is unfortunately back towards the back of the pack. Jumping on board with our current leader, who is 6 seconds ahead of Stiggy and seems to be widening that gap. Nice clean air out front. Nice set of tires, 3/4 tank of fuel. He's just going. And you see Stiggy, Leo, and Iron Fix, who are in P2, 3, and 4. Not far behind them is Joe Collins, followed by Jersey, KW 47, and Deado, rounding out the top 8. Looks like no major position changes as these guys are coming through the chicane right now. That could all change very quickly.
Yeah, Leo's going to have to run down this main straight here. Seems like Stiggy went a little wide going into the chicane, so I think he's going to be able to get the move around the outside here.
Stiggy appears to be trying to be a little defensive there with it. It may actually be able to be enough as, a little bit of contact artifact. Might be a little bit pushed to pass on Leo there. Let's see if we can have another look. That was unfortunate. He was trying to take the inside line, just didn't seem to have enough space. As you see him coming in, he's going to tuck his nose in. No, that was not a push to pass. I take that back entirely. That might have been accidental contact, but Leo does a very nice job to recover.
Yeah, that AstroTurf will really kill you. It's like ice. Certainly like ice.
There is no traction to be had once you tap AstroTurf. There is Stiggy, who now has Iron Fix crowding up his rearview mirror. And we know that Iron Fix wants that spot. Taking a nice inside line, he's going to put some pressure on Stiggy as they get themselves ready for Spoon. And again, let's see how they treat Spoon and their exit. Stiggy's going to take that nice inside-outside line. Iron Fix following in tow.
I don't think Iron Fix will be quite close enough here to get a move down the back straight.
Didn't have quite enough to challenge, but he's staying where he is. Leo is not terribly far. 1.5 seconds back of Iron Fix at this point. A little bit of lift there. Braking at the 100, looks like. Setting up for the chicane. A little good, not too much. Well done by both drivers. And Oak, early on in the race, I mean, were you really just kind of focused on keeping your position, maintaining, not letting too many spots go by, keeping your tires, managing your fuel? I mean, tell me kind of what you were thinking in these early laps.
In these early laps, I tried to really to battle for position. I wasn't mainly focused on saving tires or none of that. I ended up kind of tucked behind Bobagito, but I think overall those beginning laps were real good for me, especially with those mediums. So I think mostly these mediums a good start to have. So certainly they're definitely the faster tire for sure.
Yeah, and to your point, Mr. Racing has created quite a bit of a delta between him and P2 as Stiggy, as we watch Jersey, who is trying to close the gap between himself and P4 Leo. And you see just ahead of Leo, you've got Iron Fix and then Stiggy. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all very close, with P6 just 2 seconds back behind Jersey. It's a nice exit out of the hairpin there from Jersey. And you see, actually, that delta between him and Leo increasing a little bit. There's K-Dubs, a couple seconds back, who is being challenged by Mr. Joe Collins.
I'm loving that Ferrari livery. I can't get over it. It's so nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Stiggy runs a little bit wide. Looks like Iron Fix is going to have no trouble getting by him on that. That's unfortunate.
He was lucky to make it out that alive, for sure.
He certainly was, yeah. I mean, it was a really nice recovery. Running wide out there is not where you want to be, kind of no man's land. Spoon. Just maintaining a little bit too much speed on the second half of the turn. All 4 tires off track. He's lucky no penalties there, but to your point, man, what a great job maintaining control of that vehicle.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice for sure.
Well, he is tucked back in behind Iron Fix and is going to go ahead and challenge and take his P2 back. He did not like following Iron Fix. Is there a switchback? There will not be. Jet. Will not be yet. Iron Fix thought about it, but thought it might be wiser to sit back for a second, so they cruise through the S's. And Oak, what is the trick to driving the S's here? All throttle control?
Yeah, that's mainly the aim, to be honest. You don't really press the brakes as much as you would think in these S's. It was certainly a lot of lift coast to save tires, but for the most part, it's all about just getting a good turn in, getting a good line, and just controlling the throttle. Not really much brake.
And we watch Stiggy, keep that 4C as wide as he can get it. Leo trying to see if he can find a little bit more space to close between him and Iron Fix. There is Jersey hot on Leo's tail. K-Dub47 coming around the hairpin. There's Joe Collins in P7. Ghetto currently. Oh, Joe Collins, unfortunately, didn't get out of the turn very well. Trying to get his traction and just put the throttle down a little bit too quick and did not make it. And he is going to lose a substantial amount of positions. Slick with a 3-second penalty somehow. And we get the replay there of the end of Joe Collins. I don't know. Do you have any idea what he got 3 seconds?
To be honest, that cut it close, I think. Just a little bit of contact.
Yeah, it didn't look like he pushed anybody.
Oh, I know what it was. He passed him under the yellow flags of
under
Jay
yellow.
Collins.
Oh, that's
really unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
Thank you. I knew there was logical reason. I couldn't figure it out, though. Stinky running wide again. He's going to go ahead and drift. Can he keep it together? He does. He's going to give that position back to Iron. Now has got himself right behind Stiggy, so that certainly has changed the dynamics of the race. Let's take another look at this drift track as Stiggy runs just a touch wide onto that AstroTurf. There goes the rear end, but what an amazing job to keep the car pointed in the right direction, rolling forward. Only losing one position on a slide like that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that was Tokyo drifting for sure.
No doubt about it. So we now have Leo hunting down Stiggy, Stiggy hunting down Iron, and Iron has actually got himself a little bit of the gap, and then Jersey has gotten himself right up in tow here. So those 3, 4, and 5 looks like we are going to see some serious battles between these guys before this is all over. Everybody seems to get through the hairpin without incident. As they come through this nice, long, sweeping right, preparing for Spoon. You see him downshift a couple there. Looks like Jersey's going to stay in third. Nope, down to second here for the second part of Spoon. Up to third for his exit. He's going to kick the wipers on for fun. And they're going to follow Leo.
Oh yeah, I'm curious to see these medium runners now. Whoever's running them are going to start pitting pretty soon. Because those mediums now are pretty much dead at this point.
Oh, and we see running just a little bit wide with Jersey. Not having issues. He's able to get it back slowed down for the chicane. Still hanging on to P5. Trying to see if he can position himself to get in front of Leo somehow to take away P4. Is not able to do it yet. Diggy is trying to hunt back down that coveted second position that he loves so much. He did not want to give it up. Iron Fix took it away with a little bit of slide. Iron Fix seems to be doing a very nice job just keeping all 4 tires on the concrete right now. Oak, how important is that for these guys right now? I mean, it's dry pavement still.
Yeah, it's dry pavement, but you still want to be a little careful not to get on the power too early, you know, because that could really cost you your tires and also a whole bunch of time. So it's very important to keep it straight, especially when it's dry.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a strategy. I don't know that I believe, but I was somebody that speculated that you will wear your tires faster by rubbing on the curves. I can't confirm nor deny. I don't know that I believe it, but it's a theory.
It's certainly true. You know, I've heard many sources that tell me also the same thing. So and plus I've done enough practice to see how different it is, and it's pretty different. No curves
Okay.
and with a whole bunch of curves.
As we see our newcomer, Saint, who has been doing a very nice job keeping himself in P8. He's got Joe Collins hunting him down at the moment. As we see him coming into the hairpin, Joe Collins and Slip not too far behind. Oh, Seven Sills, unfortunately, I think he spun out. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see if we can get another replay. He may or may not have a target on his back. Coming into the hairpin, oh, he overcooked it and couldn't get it slowed down. Unfortunately, had a little bit of contact with Jack as well. That was certainly not what he was looking to accomplish, but it does happen.
Dang,
So
that costed him big time there.
It did, and there is Nasty. So there's Slick in P10. You got Slick, Skeleton, and Nasty, and Joe Collins in 9. Saint maintaining P8. Dado in P7. K-Dub in P6. Jersey currently in P5, trying to hunt down Leo, Stiggy, Iron Fix, and Mr. Racing, who is gotten himself a pretty significant gap. But to your point, he is a medium. He's on those medium compounds, and we would expect him to come into the pits in the next, 2-3 laps tops? I don't know. Can we take a look at Mr. Racing's tire wear? Oh, boy. Maybe this lap? I don't know. He's got plenty of fuel, but there is nothing left on the right. Oak, how far do you push your tires?
Since I started on the mediums, I pushed it to around lap 9. I think lap 10 may be pushing it just a little bit too much, you know, especially with that front right, it seems. Sooner or later, he is going to have to run the hards, whether required. So now that he's been able to build a gap, I think either taking the hards on this next pit will be a good option.
I have to agree with you. That's actually what I was thinking as you were talking through that. You know, if I have to come in lap 10, I know the rain's coming anywhere between 18 to 20. I'm going to take that hard compound, get it out of the way, and, you know, maybe you stretch out the medium or do an extra stop. I'm not sure how that plays out, but let's see how he works that strategy. He's going to be coming through the chicane, and we would expect him to pit. However, we've seen many surprises in the past. Shaggy, I'm talking to you, who we'd go, oh, he's going to pit, and he never would. Okay, Mr. Racing in the box. Let's see what Iron Fix is going to do. He also is on the mediums. And his tire degradation does not look too terrible. We see Stiggy, who's also jumped in the pit. So Iron Fix is going to take over the lead, at least for this lap, and maybe another.
Yeah, that Audi seems to do really good on those mediums.
It does. Yeah, you look at it compared to the hards, and it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, I think running 2 laps with those mediums are good option.
I mean, at this point, if I'm in Iron Fix's position, I'm going to run another couple.
Yeah, those are pretty good shape. Pretty good shape, I must say.
I don't know that it. Then again, we saw him. He was staying off the curbs and maybe just wasn't pushing too terribly hard. If you look at his lap times, they're very consistent: 204, 204, 203, 204, 204, 204, 203, 204. So he seems to have a really nice groove he's gotten into.
Yeah, if he can keep it that way, I think that'll definitely set him in a good place by the end of this race.
And we jump on board with our current second position driver with PHG Jersey, who is just about 3.5 seconds back from Iron Fix. There is Leo currently in P3, KW47 in P4. Mr. Racing has come out of the pits. He is in P5. Ghetto's in P6. The WRX in Mr. Saint is in P7. Joe Collins in P8. And we're going to take a ride on board with Joe Collins here for a minute as he's going to try and hunt down that WRX. I certainly love driving that WRX, but
sounds fairly nice too.
It does. It sounds good. It's got some giddy up. Let's see if
he
can hold off Joe in that Ferrari. The Ferrari. I don't know. The Ferrari sounds better than the WRX. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. 100%. I don't think he'll. I think
done.
The main straight, I think, will be his best option to pass here. If he's looking to pass, I think the main straight will definitely do him good.
Yeah, it's an interesting battle between these two cars because really both of them might lack a little bit on the top speed, but they do very well around the turns. So, you would imagine those two cars would do very well through the S's and some of the other sections of the track, but there are some significant straights that they have to navigate.
Yeah, certainly.
So, jumping on board with our current leader in Iron Fix, he is 2 seconds ahead of PHG Jersey. You'll see Jersey is not far back there, with Leo also not far back there in P3. And these guys are getting ready to come into the hairpin section here. There's Leo in that Screaming Eagle. Go get him, Leo.
I will say that Jersey's comeback on those hards have been tremendously eye-opening, especially for those front runners. I think if he's able to catch up like that on hards, that's definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, he's certainly pushing those hards. Can we take a look at Iron Fix one more time to see what his tire wear looks like? Yep, those mediums are starting to run towards the end of their life. He might go another lap. You can see that his lap times have started to come down a little bit. Lap 11 was his first 2:05 that he has run so far. Be curious to see where he falls for this lap 12. Either way, I still expect him to dive in, but I've been wrong. Let's see. He does. Okay, so Iron Fix into the pits. That is going to give the lead up to Jersey. Leo is going to come in and get off that hard compound.
He's going to have to nurse those hards till the rain comes. It's going to be cutting it close, pretty sure, with those hards.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gives me flashbacks to Moose. We didn't think he was going to be doing it. As Mr. Racing tucks down on the inside of K-Dub and makes a very nice pass. Coming out of the first turn.
Back on those hards.
Yeah, fresh set of hards from Mr. Racing. How about that? Started medium, went to hards. So now it's dealer's choice for the rest of the race. He has met his requirement.
Yeah. That'll play him nice towards the end of the race. Or soft, so after that rain dries up.
After his pit stop is currently in P7. He's not in a terrible position, about 20 seconds back from the group in front of him. There is Stiggy, and you see Leo has come out of the pits, who is currently in P9. And you see our field begins to spread out just a little bit here.
Yeah, those clouds are certainly starting to get overhead. These drivers would certainly like to look at their radar by now, just to not catch that early rain by surprise.
Yeah, it turned gray quick, and it seems to do that here. So we know the weather can change, and I've seen rain come very quickly in some of these situations where you didn't even see it on the radar. Next thing you know, it's there.
Yeah.
Jersey putting the middle finger up to Cancer and blowing through that chicane. Well done. He's going to come into the pits. And I wonder if he's seeing something we don't. Oh, no, he's low on fuel, Warren Hards. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I was looking at Jersey tire wear. Okay. I was looking at Mr. Racing's tire wears. Excuse me. So Jersey's going to come off that hard compound. I mean, at this point, Oak, would you not consider softs if you know the rain's coming at 18 to 20?
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he must have gotten it on the entrance, just running a little bit wide on coming in. Well, as you said, with there being a couple laps till the rain, softs are definitely a viable option, You could definitely catch up big time with those softs, but they only last surprisingly only about like 4 laps comfortably. So,
wow, that's not as much as you'd like. I mean, honestly, I'd rather be on the soft than the hard if I get caught out on track with rain. But then again, if they're only going to give me, well, four laps does put you about to 18, so maybe that would work.
Yeah, that certainly would technically work, but it's really high risk, high reward type of scenario with those softs.
Well, you got to go for the reward, right? As we see Joe Collins still right on the back end of that WRX, has not been able to find himself any room to get by our newest competitor in sync. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, P2 through 5 have not yet pit. So let's see. There's K-Dub. He needs fuel. There's Dado. He needs fuel. There you have Saint. He needs fuel. Maybe not as bad as the other guy. Let's see. So Joe Collins, we know he doing a little bit better on the fuel and the tires. So Joe Collins might be able to run that for extra lap above some of the competitors in front of him. That could be a really good strategy for him. Oh, as he goes wide, braking, and he is going to get control of it pretty quickly. Let's see if he chooses that opportunity to duck into the pits, or if he's going to go ahead and keep driving. He will keep going. We're going to take another look at that.
He's lucky to get no damage here.
Saint, yeah, heavy on the brakes. He just didn't quite get it stopped.
Oh yeah, that's just comes down to missing a braking point, or maybe even coming in a little bit too hot. So.
Yep. And as you look around, you can see the skies are a bit more dreary. As we see Jersey, looks like he might be trying to challenge Stiggy for P5. Jersey with that fresh set of mediums and 3/4 of fuel. Interesting choice to go for the mediums there, but as we talked about, the softs could be a risk-reward situation. He might have felt more comfortable. And Oak, like you said, if the rest of the field is on the hard, the mediums are a pretty significant advantage. So even if you only get to run them for maybe 4 or 5 laps, that might be the smart move.
Yeah, those mediums are about almost 1 or 2 seconds faster per lap, depending on how fast your car is. But I think the mediums for sure have an upper hand against these hard runners. So I'm curious to see what Jersey is able to do here.
And we see Jersey, who is eyeing his exit on a spoon up, trying to get as much momentum as he can to work his way past Stiggy. And I don't think he's going to be able to get it done here on this straight. They're coming into the heavy braking zone. Oh, he's going to sneak on the outside. Joe Collins picks up a little half second. And we've got Stiggy's going to poke his nose into that mix. Leo seems to work by Jersey somehow.
I think Jersey
Not
might
sure
have
what
went a little
happened
wide.
there. So Jersey tucks into the left here. Oh, and he does. He gets caught up in the grass. Same problem Joe had. And you'll see Leo is able to make a nice pass coming through the chicane on him. Well done. Fair play to Jersey for staying out of Leo's track.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a little bit.
It definitely has. We've got K-Dub, and I believe Joe Collins maybe has ducked into the pits. There is Stiggy, Leo, and Jersey, who are all right with each other. Leo is kind of the accordion middle between those two, bouncing back and forth. We are on lap 16 of 30, so just over halfway done. And you see Leo tucking on the inside. What a nice move to get past Stiggy. Jersey's going to try and follow suit. He's currently next to Stiggy, but he has got the outside for the hairpin. Stiggy makes a nice exit on the hairpin, but cannot get his momentum up, and Jersey able to close the door. What a great move done by Jersey. Let's take another look at it. Oak, what did you think about this pass?
I think getting this move done around the outside was really nicely done. I think these drivers were able to keep it clean, even with a little bit of netcode involved. Certainly a nice move. That going wide a little bit. Now it's just getting past Leo at this point for him. But yeah, overall, really nice move. Really nice move.
Really nicely done. What great racing. And as you see, is already challenged, ready to let that slipstream pull him down the straight. And he's going to go ahead and tuck to the inside for the, thought better of it, backed out. Maybe not. Here he goes. Oh! Couldn't quite get it done. Leo able to hold him off here. Stiggy, who is thinking about flipping on Leo, and Stiggy's going to take back that 4th position. What a battle between these three.
Yeah,
Stiggy takes a little bit of a defensive position there for turn 1. Oh, not defensive enough as Jersey is able to make it work. Stiggy ran just a little bit wide on the second half of that turn. Jersey drove right by him. I think we're going to go back to the chicane here as you see Jersey driving door to door with Leo. And there you go. Stiggy drops, overtaking the slipstream of Leo. So Jersey tucks back in behind Stiggy. And then as we saw, Jersey is going to go ahead and tuck him on the inside line. Really nicely done. Stiggy just couldn't quite get the rotation where he wanted it and cost him a position. And that was actually created a little bit of a gap Jersey has made between him and Stiggy. You'll see Slick is kind of in no man's land with 11 seconds between him and just about 5.5 seconds between Saint.
Yeah, this is where the rain will start kicking in pretty soon, so it'll be curious. It'll be nice to see what drivers will make it out alive in this rain.
And here we see Saint pulling up next to K-Dub. Can't quite get the traction done and out of that turn. to take that position. He does have some assists running, which might be the difference there. Let's take another look at that. You see K-Dub. Oh, I'm sorry. K-Dub made the pass actually on the outside. Excuse me. I thought that was Saint's position. Oh, he is on the softs, which makes a huge difference coming out of that hairpin, especially in the Viper.
A little bit of high risk, high reward type of situation, like we said earlier. So that's
and we are on board with Joe Collins, who's gone purple there through the first 3 sections. As you see, windshield wipers on Jersey's car. Here comes Leo. I'm assuming he's going onto the wets, but we will see.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of that. It'll take a little bit for that rain to fully soak into the track. So it'll be a little weird to see how these drivers will get accustomed to this rain, you know.
And Leo does exactly what I anticipated, went to the wet compound. Joe Collins is going to come in and follow suit. We've got a large chunk of drivers who are looking to get through one more lap before they come in, I'm assuming. You see windshield wipers are rocking back and forth currently, so that'll tell you that there is some rain coming down. And if you look at the rain meter on the bottom left-hand next to where the tire meters are, it'll tell you a little bit about how much water's on the track right now. Very little. A lot of people will still run slicks when it's in that bottom third, intermediates in the middle half, and then when it gets to that top half, you better be on wets or you could be in trouble. Jersey has not relented and is really trying to get something done around Iron Fix. Oh, he's going to peek on the inside and able to make that work. There was a touch of contact, but I think it was incidental, no big deal. And we know that Jersey's going to come into the pit. Let's take another look at it. They come around that sweeping right. Places himself on the inside. I don't know that Iron Fix knew there.
Yeah, certainly just a little racing incident there. Nothing you could really do about that.
And you see the rain has begun to pick up. That meter is up into the half. And I anticipate we see a huge group of people. Mr. Racing is in the pits. Oh, Slick is having a bit of a wild ride there. Can't quite get control of that car.
Yeah, I guess it's now getting to that point where it's a little too wet for these slicks now. So.
Yep, here it is, and he's going to try and make this left-hand turn, and I guess it just doesn't do it. Yep, no. He's trying. Nope, won't go.
I will say he did come in just a little hot.
And you saw K-Dub was running into the grass there. You see drivers begin to pile into the pit. K-Dub's is babying that big old powerful Viper in. And here is Joe Collins, who is on the intermediates. He is trying the Shaggy Strat, where it might not be as quick during the heavy rains, but boy, Shaggy was closing ground on people as that rain started to let up a little bit. Saint coming out of the pits, who is currently in 6th position. With Joe Collins again right behind him. Boy, those two have been right on top of each other for a big chunk of this race. We're in 19. We're on the lap 19 of 30, so these guys got about 11 laps left. So Oak, tell me about it. You know, you're in the Beamer. The rain starts. You come into the pit. You know, what's the mentality as you're getting back out onto track?
You know, definitely, I was debating whether to run traction control, but I think the traction control is the right call to go with. You certainly don't. You want to kind of stay off that slick line. There's 2 different types of lines in the rain. It's definitely better to stay off where all the in. So, you know, running a little wide in corners will certainly get you a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think that like you mentioned those lines that can certainly play a huge difference in, you know, how you're doing. And as we know, the curves are deadly when it gets wet. So
Yeah, that's certainly what got me in my split. So
And
these
right on
drivers really
cue,
have to be careful.
in honor of our buddy C-Dubs, the Rainmaker tune. As we see, Jersey is really trying to put some pressure on Iron Fix. There's Leo. There's Stiggy.
But the skies always break. Every time Shaggy
Wonderful job by production to bring that in right on time.
he lines up the lobby.
Certainly, everyone's kind of. Oh, they
Yeah,
all
I'm-
have an even gap between each other. So
And I'm absolutely slacking on my host duties. Please like, subscribe, show some love to T-Case for doing all the broadcasting and the production value back there. T-Case does a wonderful job. He hosts T-Case Tuesdays. Make sure to join his channel, follow, get into some of his Tuesday races. It is an absolute blast. I speak from experience. As we see Jersey putting some pressure on Iron Fix, he wants that P2, and he may be able to get it done. Fix running a little bit wide. Oh, Jersey drives by. Leo making a pass. There may have been a little bit of contact there, but that is for the stewards to figure out. As we see Jersey.
you can see all that rain splashing up on these curbs as soon as these drivers. As soon as these drivers touch it, it's kind of like on ice. So they're
And
gonna have
there's
to
the
be careful with
replay.
that.
It looks like there might have been a little bit of tap from Jersey to send Iron Fix wide, but I wonder if Shaggy is laughing at their state right now. Oh, Iron Fix, little wiggle, keeping it under control. Nice job, my man. Keep that pressure on Leo. Leo looks like he's sliding a little bit there coming into the first section of Spoon. Trying to pick his exit there and giddy up and go. Iron Fix with a little wiggle, no problem.
A little bit interesting to see is that Iron Fix is not running any traction control, so he's definitely got to control that throttle really nice and carefully around this track.
Yeah, you know, Oak, I'm with you. When the rain starts, for me, traction control is the play. I don't have the throttle control that some of the other folks do. Maybe it's the rig, maybe it's equipment, maybe it's the driver. Probably the latter of the three. As we watch the 2, 3, and 4 go through the chicane there. Mr. Racing seems to be holding a pretty solid lead at this point. 25 seconds between him and the next driver in Jersey.
Yeah, all the leader has to do now is just stay clean and consistent. No, nothing more, nothing less. So that's really all it has to be.
Yeah, you really have to just kind of lock in and run your race, right?
Yeah, just running consistently. That's the name of the game.
Diggy is trying to see if he can put a challenge on Iron Fix now. And you can see the water coming off the track right now. If you look at the gauge, it's still up in the top third. So those drivers on wet compounds are definitely appreciative of their tires. Intermediate guys might be doing okay, but I bet it's a little bit more tricky. And Stiggy's going to make sure and keep pressure on Iron Fix. He wants to let him know that nothing is for free today.
These two have certainly been battling the entire race. It's been really fun to watch.
They have, doing it very well as well. And you can see that spray coming off of Iron Fix's car, man. It's not something that's easy to prepare for.
Yeah, especially with the dirty air. It's definitely the worst you can get right now for Stiggy.
And you can see him kind of weaving. Oh, there's slower traffic there. Good on him for staying out of the way. So there is Stiggy. Looking ahead at Iron Fix. A lot of water coming off that Audi.
It's a lot of wiggling for sure, too.
It is. Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about, shifting a little left or right to get out of that spray a little so you can see where you're going, maybe be able to spot your brake point.
Yeah. certainly really tough for these drivers in these wet conditions. It's definitely no joke.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like somebody has taken out the 100 marker. So for those guys using that as a break point, it is no longer there.
Yeah, you gotta adapt as well.
Yeah, that is not something I practice for, but maybe I should start. So what do you do if the marker gets knocked away?
Yeah, I think you could definitely learn another breaking point on the fly. That's
Yeah.
certainly what I do. There's so many things you can look at to know where you're braking, and it's very different compared to the wet and the dry as well. You know, you gotta brake much earlier in the wet.
You absolutely do, and sometimes you can't do it quite as aggressively as you would in the dry either. To make sure you don't unsettle the car. As we see, Nasty looks like he's going to take a run at Skellington here on the back straight. Going to tuck on to the inside. And it looks like that is the Ford versus Chevy. I don't think he's going to be able to get by him, though. No, it does not look. It looks like Skellington's going to be able to hold.
It's definitely the smarter choice. You know, going too wide around that corner while it's raining. That's definitely not the brightest idea.
Yep, not recommended. No, not at all. And back up to the front where we see Jersey, who currently is 21 seconds off the lead and 2 seconds ahead of our third place driver in Leo. And you see Jersey pushing it really close to those curbs. Leo, not so much. We've got Iron Fix, who, as you mentioned, is running without the traction control. So you see a little wiggle here and there. Still doing a good enough job to maintain that P4 ahead of Stiggy. But these two simply are going to continue their battle throughout the remainder of the race. Come down to the back straight for the 22nd time. And I don't believe Stiggy's going to be able to challenge just yet.
He's certainly close enough to at least attempt to move down the main straight.
And we jump on board with P13 and Steven Sills. He's taking that inside line. There is Stiggy looking at Iron Fix again.
You can now see that dry line is starting to form little by little. It's getting close to that time whether you want to start going on the slicks or continue running the wet tires.
Yeah, to your point, if you look at that rain meter, it is still in that that middle portion there, which generally most people would tell you would be recommended for intermediate. So we do expect any of those drivers that have taken them intermediate to have an advantage during this time frame. The other advantage to having those intermediates is, you don't as much about going to make that pass. It's not as scary to get out into that wet lane or get off the dry line to make a pass.
Yeah, those intermediates were definitely the right call, in my opinion. Even for these two different splits, I think the intermediates are for sure the correct tire to go onto.
Yeah, I think to your point, you get a couple laps of real heavy rain where most being pretty cautious anyway. So whether you're on intermediates or wets, you can still kind of maintain your position for the most part. But boy, when you get to this part of the wetness and it starts to decrease ever so much, you can really make some ground up on folks.
Yeah.
Let me see. Iron Fix is able to pull away just ever so slightly. Sticky, as we take a look aboard our leader in Mr. Racing. His lead has decreased ever so slightly. He is on the wet pound. He's a full straight ahead of the next driver in Jersey, who is also on wets.
Jersey is within a pit stop here. So if the leader does end up coming in, he's going to have to think pretty quickly whether he wants to come in himself or not.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And Oak, how long was the pit stop here? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that data.
So I think the pits are around 25, 26 seconds. So it really depends on how much fuel you're grabbing, but
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it's around that 25, 30-second range.
And here you have Leo is looking at trying to capitalize on that P2. I think we had Datto jump into the pits, so he's going to come off that wet compound. There's Leo as Jersey runs a little bit wide. Leo actually didn't push him too hard, so probably the better move to just keep yourself in it and keep rolling.
Yeah, those wets are certainly getting some wear on them now that the dry line has formed.
Yeah, and to your point, Oak, I mean that's the challenge with the wets. As soon as that dry line forms, once you're getting off that dry line and cooling those tires down, they're gonna rip apart on you.
Yeah, it's certainly something you got to be careful with.
So with that being said, I guess we expect these wet runners to come in on this lap as we see Jersey shoot wide. Leo not able to capitalize. He's certainly there to put the pressure on. Both of them getting the exit out of Spoon. They're going to go door to door. No, they are not. Jersey's going to try and shut the door.
He's
Oh, and
definitely
guess what?
pushing him.
We got another car in the mix. There's Iron Fix right behind both. Leo running wide. Iron Fix is going to drive right on by him. I think Leo's running out of tire traction. Let's have another look here as the three cars are out of Spoon. They're on the back straight. You'll see Iron Fix peaked on the outside. He thought a little better of it. He tucked back in. Leo is going to try to position himself for this turn and just can't get the car rotated. Iron Fix in a great position to put himself right past Leo. And you see Jersey, Leo, and Stiggy all going into the pits. There is Iron Fix, who has not. Mr. Racing is still on track as well without his pit stop.
Yeah, I think if I was the leader here, I would definitely want to switch over to the slick tires.
Oh no, Leo and Stiggy both with a pit lane penalty. That is unfortunate. They come out in P5 and 6 respectively with Saint in front and Stiggy Jay Collins right behind them. Thank you. But they are certainly going to lose 5 and 6 once they serve those 3 seconds. I don't know if they're going to lose 7 and 8 as well, but I guess we'll see. A lot of red, looking like Christmas all of a sudden up there. But it is the opposite.
Yeah, sorry, that penalty's going to cost.
Saint running a little bit wide as Stiggy, Leo, and Joe Collins are able to drive by. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate for Stiggy, or for Saint at least.
I think Joe will be able to get past both of them here if he stays within range.
Take another look at that as you see Saint just running a touch wide there. He is still on the wet compound, so certainly losing a little bit of traction as we know those other drivers pit. And here comes our leader into the pits to swap off of that wet compound. Now to your question, what will Iron Fix do? I'm looking at that tire wear. I'm looking at the fuel. If I'm him, I'm coming in also.
Yeah, it's certainly.
And there you go.
Yeah, now is the time to certainly be on wet tires. The big thing to be careful about is the exit of that pit, especially being on the slicks. And that pit lane that pit lane line is still really, really slick. So I would certainly be careful and not get a penalty there.
That's a very good point. You don't get a dry line on pit exit. As we see Jersey creeping up. Making a nice move into P2 as Iron Fix comes out of the pits into P3 with a little bit of room between him and Stiggy.
He does opt in for these soft tires as well.
Ah, very nice. Stiggy on the racing mediums. You got Leo on the racing medium. And the soft tire might be the play. I mean, they're technically 4 laps left, so.
Yeah, the only thing to be careful about is definitely that wet line.
Right.
And especially those curves. Those curves will kill you.
And there is Slick, who is currently in P7, Saint P8, KW 47 in P9. Edo is in P10. Nasty coming in off those intermediates. And Jack Skellington, who is on those racing mediums. So he will definitely gain a position on Nasty coming by the pits here. Nasty going to the soft compound. Oh, he didn't gain a position yet, but he still could. Oh, the pit lane. Oh, to your point right there. Let's see if we can see what happened here. We're going to ride on board with Nasty as he goes through the pit. Love that livery, by the way. Coming out. Yep. Oak, you are Nostradamus, buddy. You called that.
Yeah, he definitely punched it on the exit, and that got the best of him.
It looked like he had some traction control on as well. I thought, come on, but maybe I was mistaken. There is our leader, Mr. Racing, who's got an 11-second lead between him and Jersey, who is in P2. Jersey fairly comfortably in no man's land with, 10 plus seconds both directions. And there is P3 Iron Fix with, guess what? Leo in tow. Leo's certainly doing everything in his power to get himself back into a podium position.
The big thing about this stage in the race is if you try to go for a pass and you're going to be careful with that wet on the outside of the track, you got to be very careful when you're passing.
It's a very good point. We will see if that's what happens. One interesting thing, I know Leo to the mediums, and he is trying to hunt down a driver who is on a compound. So I think that there's only a few laps left. So I don't know that Iron Fix is going to have too bad a tire degradation to give Leo any opportunity. That might be the play going on to the softs there and seeing if he can maintain P3 to keep Leo off podium. And another thing to keep in mind, Leo did have that 3-second pit lane penalty coming out. So how about that to keep himself in a good position there? There is Stiggy, who is about 9 seconds back from Leo, 6 seconds ahead of the next driver in Slick. Joe Collins not far behind Slick in P7. Saint maintaining P8. You'll see K-Dub there in P9. A little bit of room between him and Daddy O, who is currently down in P10. Back up to the front pack. There's Iron Fix with Leo in tow, and I think this is the battle we're going to want to watch for the remainder of the race. Leo runs a little bit wide. Hopefully that doesn't penalty. Get his car slowed back down to the chicane. Looks like he does that without incident. Well done, Leo. Keep it in it, buddy.
Good to keep it in control, especially with that wet on the outside.
Yeah, and let's take another look at this. So you'll see Iron Fix make that left-hand turn. Obviously, Iron's on the softs. Leo couldn't quite keep up with him on those medium compounds. Got into that wet line like you talked about, Oak. And unfortunately, fortunately, able to wrangle it back together without a big problem. So there we have Iron Fix and Leo. Jersey is P2 with plenty of room between him and anyone.
Yeah, at this point for him, it's just taking it to the line now.
And Mr. Racing, speaking of taking it to the line.
Yeah, he's been running really nicely so far. I think he might have this one in the bag for sure. I think he's certainly
hard to argue.
Yeah, it's certainly pretty set in stone, if you'd want to say, for him. As
Yes,
long
he
as
is
he doesn't get any pens or crashes, I think he's good.
preparing to start the penultimate lap for us and get himself set up here for his final. Joe Collins with a little bit of a coming out of the hairpin there. And Saint has been battling him for quite a while. Look at that. Joe Collins is actually still on the intermediate, so not what I expected to see this late in the race.
With being on the intermediates, he is able to be a little more aggressive on the curbs, especially with that treaded tire.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It almost looks like he's trying to stay on the wet line, which would be the smart play. Look at him drifting. Oh my golly.
Oh wow. Some
What
style
an
points for
exhibition
sure.
of control, yeah. Woo! And will he stay out? You would imagine he's going to have to until the end of the race unless he his hard compound, right?
Yeah, for him, I
And
think.
he's gonna, yeah.
Yeah, staying out would be the best option at this point. It's a little too late in this race, you know.
Yeah, here we are on the penultimate lap as we see Saint trying to hunt down Joe Collins and take that P7 away from him on his PHG debut. Saint wanting to make a name for himself and the Subaru manufacturing group. He is all over Joe Collins. And you notice Saint is also on the soft compound, so if he can get a good position, that might do it. As we saw Joe Collins run just a touch wide out of that, Saint was able to tuck himself in, keep the car under control, and drive right by. Let's have another look here. You're going to see Joe Collins as Saint peeks his nose. Nope, peeks it the other way and able to get through. Very nicely done by Saint.
He's taking that WRX places.
And I'm not sure what happened, but looks like Joe got that position back. Can we get another replay? Let's see. So Saint, curb, caught him. K-Dub was with him, doing a little flip and slide out there. Oh, goodness. And can we, there we go, jump on board with the leader who is about to start the final lap, okay. So there is Mr. Racing. He's got 12-second gap between him and the next competitor in Jersey. Jersey on an island with 10-plus seconds either direction between him and Iron Fix. Iron Fix has got a Leo Screaming Eagle crawling up his tailpipe.
It looks like Saint was also able to get past Joe.
Okay, Saint made that pass again. And we know Iron Fix has the tire advantage over Leo. Iron Fix soft compound, Leo running the mediums. Let's see if Leo can do something magical to try and take that P3 off Iron Fix's hand and get himself a podium position. And, this is where you have to be extra cautious. You try to push too hard, you rub one curb or AstroTurf too hard, and that is it. So keep it under control, Leo. No! Commentator's curse at its worst, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Leo.
That was crazy, you kind of called it there, slow-mo.
Yeah, let's have another look. We were on board with him when it happened, and here he comes, pushing a little too hard. AstroTurf, curb, dizziness. Oh, Leo, sorry, buddy.
He's lucky that the field wasn't too close together where he lost a whole bunch of positions, but...
Yeah, and I was going to say, it looks like Stiggy was able to take P4 off his hands, but I don't know. Leo might be able to contest that before the race is over. Here they go coming out of Spoon as we click over to our leader, Mr. Racing, and he's ahead and finished with a little style point. Jersey is going to come through for P2, and Iron Fix coming through the chicane, preparing himself for a P3 podium. And it looks like Stiggy's going to be able to hold off Leo as they come through the chicane. Well done, Mr. Iron Fix, with that. Stiggy, fantastic performance there. Leo, sorry for the announcer's curse, buddy. There is Slick. Looks like he's going to secure a P6 pretty handedly. Saint, welcome to the PHG World Series, buddy. Well done with the 7th position. And way to represent Subaru.
Oh, yeah.
K-Dub, P8 for Team Dodge. Eddie-O putting some P9 points up for Team Supra here as he comes through the final section. And we have Jay Collins, who somehow, like you said, something must have happened. Oh, look at those intermediates. They are shot. Oh, man.
He's riding on ice, pretty much.
He's lucky he still has air in those things. Wow. Let's see how yeah, okay. That tells you everything you need to know about those intermediates right there. He is unfortunately ice skating through there.
He's got to cross that line before Jack comes up.
Yeah, Skellington's got a chance to take 10 from him. Doesn't look like he's going to do it, but well, I guess, hold on. Skellington challenging. Oh, what a fish. Oh, well done by all the drivers tonight. Congratulations to Mr. Racing. That was pretty much a, front to back win. I mean, he put down quite the exhibition here for us. Oak, do you want to run us through our final results here tonight?
Yes, sir. So, first place overall, we have SRP Mr. Racing. Second place, we have PHG Jersey. Third place, rounding at the provisional podium standards, we have Iron Fix. Fourth place, we have PHG Stiggy. Fifth place, we have Leo. Sixth place, we have PHG Slick. Seventh place, we have Saint. And in eighth place, we have PHG KW. In ninth place, we have Dado. In 10th place, we have Joe Collins. 11th place, we have PHG Skellington. 12th place, we have PHG Nastia. In 13th place, we have Steven Sills. And in 14th place, we have PHG Strict 9.
I didn't see what happened to the last couple drivers there, but it looked like there were unfortunately a couple engine failures that were experienced through the race, and that does happen. So, well done by everybody here.
My what goodness. A race!
Woo, Oak. I gotta ask you, who would you split for this one?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to give it up to Jersey. It was a really good comeback considering the mistake he had going all the way down to 10th. It was really nice seeing him climbing up the order to come back and finish second.
Yeah, I would be right there with you, except I'm actually going to go with Iron Fix. I was really excited to see the close battling that he experienced. Really good strategy there at the end to be on the saw. I think that made all the difference to keep him on the podium and kind of keep Leo out of there. Leo did everything he could to challenge, but just didn't have what it took to get by him with that tire difference. So I put Iron Fix up as my driver of the day or driver of the split. TK, you feel like chiming in here?
Yeah, I'll chime in real quick. Shout out to Slick, PHG Slick at SHVR2, going from last to sixth. So,
oh yeah, great improvement.
I just love a overtaking. It's the best part. But yeah, so I'll chime in Slick on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That wraps up our races for today. Let me take just a couple seconds here and thank the PHG community. There is no better community for racers out here. Great people, better racers. Join the Discord. T-Case has the link to the website put there in the chat, so make sure and check that out. The finals now, boy, I probably should have looked this up before I opened my mouth. Finals start next week, do they? Or is there a break?
I believe there is a 1 week break, and then we
Okay.
get straight into the finals.
Okay, so we got a week break before we get into the finals. Much love to Papa. Hopefully everything is going out okay out there. Send some love out to him. Papa has been really doing a whole lot. He's got a sick family member, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Hopefully everything turns out okay there. Big shout out to Shaggy. Well done this season. The season itself has been just top notch. Great combos. Lots of fun, exciting racing that's been provided through these. This series has just been something to behold. I'm so excited to have been a part of it. Looking forward to seeing what we got next. Oak, anything before we close out the stream today?
First off, I would like to say thank you, TKs, and thank you yourself, Slow-Mo, for having me today. It was great commentating tonight. Great racing. Great everything, pretty much. Everything was done really nicely. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night. Spend it well with your families, have a drink or something, treat yourself nicely. So that's all I have to say, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, there are more races tomorrow. Oh, great job tonight. Also a great job by C-Dubs in the booth with me. You guys both are so awesome to work with. Love being in the booth with both of you. T-Case, we can't do it without you, man. You're the man behind the curtains. I know you're not feeling well. I hope you're feeling a little bit better for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun racing. Splits 2 and 4 will go at it. Is there a split 5 this week?
I do not think so. There is no split 5.
Okay, just 2 and 4 tomorrow then. So you will be with T-Case. Make sure and like and subscribe his channel. Check the pinned link. Get into the website. There is going to be more PHG World Series coming up. I know Shaggy has already been planning what's next. So I know we're all clamoring to next. I heard a little bit of class thing, so that could certainly be very interesting. Looking forward to that. So on behalf of myself, if you want to check me out, you can find me here on YouTube. I do a variety of different things: Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto. We like to play a little bit of golf now and do that through Grand Theft Auto. So Oak, do you do any streaming?
I do a little bit here and there. I like to stream my IRL races. Most of my Gran Turismo stuff I like to keep streaming it just to have it out there,
Yeah, very cool. Absolutely. Check everybody out. Jump into the Discord as well. Jump into the PHG Discord. There is always something going on. There's always people to chat and bounce ideas off of. There's really no better place to get some strategy or some information if you're trying to figure out what you need to do to be able to be competitive in the races, time trial, some advice. That is an awesome place for information. So shout out to all the PHG crew out there. Thank you guys so much for having me. T-Case, anything from your perspective before we close out?
No, thank you so much for making it. Like you said, I am not feeling my best, but it was so great to have you and Oak and C-Dubs in the booth while I ran things behind the scenes. I thought you guys just did an amazing job. Great racing, everybody. Great racers, better people. That's PHG. Believe we got a little credit reel for you. But that's all for me, and we'll be back tomorrow for some more great races.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody. Always a pleasure to be here. You guys are the best. I'm always honored when an invite to be in the PhD group to broadcast. So thank you. And Oak, we got to go hit this charcuterie. I don't know if you know, but Papa brought in beers too, so I'm getting one of them next.
That's always nice.
Cheers. All right, guys, enjoy your night. Happy Friday. We'll see you back tomorrow for splits 2 and 4 of the PHG World Series.
skies always break. Every time Shaggy sets the stakes, he lines up the lobbies, the cars all shine. But here comes a storm, right on time. Oh, Rainmaker, why you gotta pour? We just want the track dry, nothing more. Every race, we're splashing through the lane. Shaggy, my friend, you're bringing the rain. The tires are slipping, the turns get wild. I'm hydroplaning, losing my style. We asked for the sun, a clear blue sky, but puddles keep falling, and I don't know why. Maybe it's luck, maybe it's fate, or maybe Shaggy's laughing at our state.